It is Monday, January 2nd, 2023, first Monday night football game of the new year, and it begins with a mega ritual. And yes, this was a ritual, and notice so much drama around this ritual where they refuse to show you the highlight of what happened, but it is the internet age. You can look it up. You can see it was a routine tackle. You can see that Damar Hamlin, who's reportedly in critical condition, got up, went up to the player he tackled, gave him a taunt to the face, took a step back, and collapsed. And you've been listening to Booger McFarland. I mean, isn't it just annoying? Like, back to Booger. Who has the name Booger anyway? I mean, the whole world of sports is so bullshit, you even have to listen to a guy named Booger. Booger's talking like this. This is one of the saddest things I've ever seen. I think they just need to cancel this whole game. It's like, can we just play the damn highlight and see that absolutely just nothing happened to this guy? Because literally nothing happened to him. And anyway, I'm going to show you how perfect this ritual is in the Queen City when the Queen died on the opening day of the season when the Bills beat the defending Super Bowl champion Rams. Again, if you guys don't know, Cincinnati, where the game is known as the Queen City, and so is Buffalo. Both cities are known as the Queen City. And in case you guys forgot, I did go out to Buffalo in the offseason right after the Tops shooting at the Buffalo Tops Market to show how that shooting was a ritual synced up with the Bills' 63rd season and why the Bills would win their opener against the Rams. So again, if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, stay tuned. I'm going to show you how perfect this ritual is, this mass energy manipulation, which is pretty much what every NFL game is. And really, they should be talking about the former Jaguar who dropped dead. Well, they announced his death today, the day of the Purdue game. He played at Purdue, the Jaguar who's dead today. But they're not even bringing that up. They're just talking about how dramatic this moment is. And actually, before I go an inch further, just look at ESPN's photo. Anything stand out about ESPN's photo for the ritual, you guys? What have I been teaching for 10 years straight about Monday Night Football? I always teach about one number, don't I? Like how every week the game's scripted around one number. Does anything stand out about this photo in light of what I've been teaching for 10 years? M is the 13th letter. N is the 14th. F is the 6th. 13 plus 14 plus 6 is 33. Who's the one number standing up in this photo? 33. Last week, Nick Foles stays on 33 career wins. Every week it's about 33 on Monday Night Football. And again, in the photo, the only guy standing is 33. These are rituals, you guys. And again, American football is credited to Walter Camp, the Scottish Rite Freemason, where the highest degree is the 33, where it's all about numbers. Again, etched on every Masonic temple is all is number. Again, these are secret societies. They're into things that most people don't know about, like Kabbalah and Gematria and numerology and astrology. So anyway, look at this. Let's just go through this piece by piece. We'll get to why they did this while the score is 7-3. But notice Damar Hamlin's born on the 83rd day of the year. We call that the football number. Peyton Manning's birthday is the 83rd day of the year. Tom Brady's born 8-3. Remember this year on the 83rd day of the year, the Colorado team, the Denver Broncos team, caught on fire on Peyton Manning's birthday. Both Colorado and football equal 83 in Gematria, which means today is 81 days before Damar Hamlin's upcoming birthday. Notice also that he's the 212th pick, 212, because the Super Bowl this year is on 212. But today is January 2nd, meaning today is 81 days before his birthday. If you're new here, we call 81 the ritual number in Gematria with the alphabetic order. When you add up the letters, R is the 18th letter of the alphabetic order. I is the 9th. T is the 20th. U is the 21st. A is the 1st. L is the 12th. When you add it up, ritual equals 81. And there's not many words that have the same Gematria when you run the alphabetic order forwards and backwards, but ritual is one of them. If you run the alphabetic order in reverse, so making Z1 back to A is 26, ritual also adds up to 81. So it just happens to be 81 days before his birthday. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Bills equals 81. He plays for the Buffalo Bills. Again, the Super Bowl this year, 2-1-2. Super Bowl 57 is going to be on 2-1-2. That means that from today to the Super Bowl is 41 days. When you run it forward, Super Bowl's 41. When you run it in reverse, it's 49. Damar Hamlin's also 49. Keep in mind, NFL's 49, America's 49, Scottish is 49, as in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. And again, if you're new here, been educating about these numbers year after year. That's why we guaranteed Tom Brady would win the Super Bowl the year he turned 41, the year he beat the Rams. LA also equals 41. So does Kobe Bryant, who died at age 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age while traveling from Catholic Mass. By the way, let me know if you guys want me to go down to LA for the 3-year anniversary of Kobe's death, like I went down to Buffalo. We did wake up a lot of people in Buffalo. We can probably even wake up a lot more in LA since it's a lot bigger city. But again, I did do a lot of traveling this past year for the anniversaries of major things, Oklahoma City bombing, 9/11, top shooting, et cetera, et cetera. And sadly, all that seemed to happen for doing that is a lot of people fell off the wagon and stopped supporting the work. And I suppose that's because I did a little bit less sports decoding this year. So ultimately what I found out is people don't care about getting out the truth. They just care about winning on sports picks. And we do a lot of that as well. But anyway, his full name, Damar Romiel Hamlin. Notice 96 forwards, 111 in reverse. And this season's all about the Queen. Remember, the Queen died at age 96. I predicted why she would die at age 96. My prediction was slightly off. I thought she'd die on the 140th day of the year. Instead, she died 140 days after her birthday. I thought that because Queen of England equals 140. But again, the Queen died on the opening day of the NFL season at age 96. There's a lot of reasons to explain about that. Again, Buffalo beat the Rams that day. Buffalo's known as the Queen City. So is Cincinnati. And notice how Cincinnati also equals 96. So does Freemason. And when you run his name in reverse, it's 111. Remember, the Queen was born on April 21st, the 111th day of the year. The 111th World Series was won by the Royals over New York. New York equals 111. Remember, we had the Mets in the World Series at 60-1 odds in spring training before they lost to the Royals in the 111th World Series. And don't forget, we predicted what day Prince would die months before he died because he had the song I Would Die For You with the number 4 and the letter U, which is the 21st letter. So I Would Die 4/21. Prince died on 4/21 on the Queen's birthday, April 21st, the 111th day of the year. So again, think about it, you guys. Battle of the Queen Cities tonight. And the guy whose name equals 96 and 111, you can't get more Queen Elizabeth than that. This happens to him in Cincinnati. Just think about it. This is like, I guarantee you tonight's game had the biggest rating for ESPN for Monday Night Football. Guaranteed. Guaranteed it had by far the biggest rating because people wanted to see this matchup. The two teams that, if there's a third team, it's the Chiefs, but these are the teams that people are thinking are going to represent the Super Bowl in the AFC. And then this happens. And what was the score when it happened? It was 7-3. What does Queen equal? 73. So does the word sacrifice. Sacrifice equals 73 and 46. Today's got 46 date numerology. We'll see if they're going to report that he died. It remains to be seen. Or who knows? Could be 41 days from now, and he could be making the game-winning Super Bowl because Russell Wilson got traded to the backup and forgot to hand off to Marshawn Lynch, who's now the backup for the Bills, and somehow he ended up on the opposing. Anyway, I'm being facetious, but you guys know what I'm talking about. This is the most bullshit league there ever was, that all it does is fuck with the fans every day, and then the same commentators who wear suits and act like the league's legit and real, the Adam Schefters of the world, they're on all night like, oh my God, this. I think this is the most tragic thing I've ever seen. Oh my God, they just need to shut down the game. They need to turn off this game. This isn't about football tonight. It's just like, can somebody just play the highlight again so we can see that absolutely nothing happened to this guy? And I know what other people are saying. They're saying, I think it's because he got vaccinated. Well, that is happening to people. They're not going to bring up that narrative, surely, on TV. That is happening to people, but this is just a little bit too perfect. This fits in with all the other bullshit rituals they do in these sports leagues night after night. And is there an element of voodoo magic? Again, between what they did to Alex Smith and what they did to Devin Booker. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Alex Smith, remember when he snapped his leg? Speaking of 33 and voodoo magic, the word magic for the record equals 33. But remember, Alex Smith had his leg snapped on the hash mark. That Joe Theismann had his leg snapped in the same place on the 33-year anniversary of it happening, and Joe Theismann just happened to be at the game. And he just happened to say after the game that it was weird because he also has a nephew named Alex Smith, like the football player who it happened to. And then it was also on the 322nd day of the year, November 18th. And Kabbalah, where, again, the dark half of Kabbalah is the clip-off, which has to do with magic and sorcery and where this whole thing of letters and numbers comes from. It's got 3 pillars and 22 paths, like how it happened on the 322nd day of the year, like how Genesis 3:22 mentions the tree of life, the physical model for Kabbalah, knowing good and evil. And by the way, Genesis also equals 33 like magic, but like masonry, like secrecy, like order, like federal, like New York. But yeah, Devin Booker got his nose busted also in the NBA playoffs while the owner of the Suns' wife was sitting courtside with a T-shirt on of a T-shirt with a big blown up image of Steve Nash with a broken nose. And then he got his nose broken with 3:22 on the clock. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It was wild. We covered it back when it happened. But anyway, notice that from the day the Queen died and the day the Bills started the season to today, January 2nd, is the 117th day of the season. And of course, Buffalo Bills equals 117. And remember, I went down to Buffalo to talk about the May 14th shooting and why there were 2 mass shootings in the news on the same day, the one in Buffalo and then one that got less attention in Los Angeles when the season opener was on September 8th, 117 days after the shooting. And by the way, you guys, where Buffalo Bills equals 117, Buffalo alone equals 63 like racism. This is the Bills' 63rd season. Byron Brown was 63 years old at the time, the mayor of Buffalo, who was not voted in, but installed by the rigged selection system. Everybody in Buffalo knows he didn't win the election. He was a write-in candidate. He couldn't even win his primary. People hate Byron Brown in Buffalo. They know he's a thug who steals the money from the city and does nothing for it. Go to Buffalo. The whole city's potholes. You'll need new suspension after a day. Anyway, Kathy Hochul, also from Buffalo, was 63 years old at the time. And again, I covered this I'm not going to go back and do everything I did in May for the shooting, but the ritual was so synced up with Byron Brown and Kathy Hochul, it was mind-blowing. And again, Kathy Hochul became the 57th governor of New York, who's from Buffalo. This is the year of Super Bowl 57. The Queen died on the opening day of the season. The Queen has only gone to one American football game in her whole life, and you'd never believe what year she went to an American football game. It was back in 1957. So go figure that she dies on the opening day of the year that we'll have Super Bowl 57. But in light of the shooting being on May 14th, 5/14, take a look at how many losses the Bills are on as a franchise. Do the math. 495 regular season losses and 19 playoff losses. What's 495 plus 19? Oh, it's 514. 514, like the date of the shooting. Now, remember, they said the shooter at the Buffalo Tops cased the store on March 8th, the 8th day of the 3rd month, 8-3. In Gematria, murder equals 83, so does football. They opened the top store on O.J. Simpson's birthday, the guy that people say got away with murder in L.A., Buffalo and L.A., to open the season in the ritual sync with the shooting. But notice, again, this guy's born on the 83rd day of the year. Damar Hamlin, 83rd day of the year. Think about it. 83 is the 23rd prime number. If you were watching the game when it happened, ESPN put up the stat on the screen when the players and the teams walked off the field. They said they're leaving the field after 23 minutes. 83 is the 23rd prime number. Remember the college football playoff game, the crazy comeback by Georgia against Ohio State. They won 42-41, 83 points, and it ended with a missed field goal at the stroke of midnight into the new year 23. 83, the 23rd prime number. 83 points to start 23 in the football game that ends at just the perfect time. Then this guy, born on the 83rd day of the year, the 23rd prime, goes down, and 23 minutes later, the teams decide to walk off the field. And that wasn't all. They also, if you were watching the broadcast when they were tending to him, they said the CPR team had been working on him for 9 minutes. 83 is the 23rd prime number. 23 is the 9th prime number. Kind of like how the Jaguars just ended their 9-game losing streak to the Texans to start 23. And Again, I mean, it just couldn't be any more obvious. And what I feel bad for the most are the people who will like tune into this video and be like, "Oh, this guy's an asshole. This guy's full of shit, man. It's no ritual. Didn't you see how sad the players were?" You guys, how many of these players go right into politics, are doing commercial acting during the breaks, end up making movies in Hollywood? A lot of these guys on the field are actors. You know, they got magnetic gloves. Who's to say some of them don't have some onion powder on their gloves tonight? You know, just put a little onion powder in it, you can be crying in seconds. These leagues are so full of shit. And all they are is a massive energy harvest. How often if you watch games, you know how it is. You know, it'll be like some crazy comeback, the way a home team loses, and then the cameraman will start going to all the different fans who have these super depressed looks in the stands. They'll go to little kids who are bawling their eyes out. That's what these games are really about. Just unbelievable bullshit endings. Just unbelievable bullshit. That should be professional sports motto for every league. Welcome back to another presentation of unbelievable bullshit. But seriously, guys, I have been here for a decade teaching about Monday Night Football. I'm 33. Just ask yourself, what are the odds that the only guy standing in the photo is number 33? So again, the Super Bowl is on 212, and this guy just happens to be, again, where did I put it? He just happens to be the 212th pick of the draft. He just happened to have went to a Catholic school. Again, all roads lead to Rome. For all you Eagles fans who can't believe that you lost to the Saints, you should have known Gematria could have made some nice money on the fix for your team going down. Joseph Ratzinger, the Nazi Pope who just died, Joseph Ratzinger equals 79. Benedict equals 35. He'll be a saint before long, because that's what happens when a pope dies. They make him a saint. And again, the Saints become 7-9 and 3-5 away in tribute to Pope Benedict in another perfectly scripted season. And again, I mean, if America wasn't full of low IQs and brain dead, inept people, there'd be zero people in the NFL stands tonight. There'd be zero people watching the game. And for a person out there who's going, well, you're watching the game. I watch the game for a different reason. I watch the game because we take advantage of the rigging. We explain the rituals. My point is to help unlock people from the matrix and pad their pockets with money. That's the reason I watch the game, not because I'm into the excitement of the rigged competition, but also for things like this, just so I can explain what's going on. And again, if we didn't have such low IQs in the country, people would understand these kind of things going on day after day as they do are impossible coincidences. Again, news and sports all synced up year after year. Again, we've been educating about this for a decade now, calling futures accurately. And I mean, there's really not an argument other than somebody can say, well, I'm too inept to understand. My head's too far up my ass to accept what this guy's telling me. But yeah, seriously, think about it, you guys. You just saw all the biggest bullshitters on TV tell you about how dramatic this is. But again, watch the highlight yourself. Routine tackle, gets up, taunts the guy, and then collapses. I mean, come on. And then here, your photo from ESPN to just remind you what time it is. I'm always amazed at all the people who have my phone number who are always like, have you heard? Like, there's a guy texting me right now. Have you heard what happened to Damar Hamlin? Dude, do you not have my YouTube channel or what? I mean, we're streaming right now about it. Okay. Here, if anybody else wants to come on here and tell me anything that I'm missing, or if somebody's out there that thinks this is all a coincidence that I'm presenting, please come on. Please come on, because I'm putting the link in the chat right now. All you got to do is click on it, and you can join the stream. Give it a little click, and all you got to do is enable your mic. You don't have to enable your camera, but we will bring on a few guests in case somebody else has an additional observation. And here's the first person in the room. Hefe Casey, what's up?
Hey, man, I didn't know if you talked about that, but when Cincinnati scored the touchdown, 83-7 got up on.
Wasn't it number 83 who scored the touchdown?
Yeah, he got
exactly. And then the guy born on the 83rd day of the year is down by the numbers in a perfect ritual. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was the Bills are what's their record? 13-2, and then
They have 3 losses.
yeah,
They're 12-3 right now.
Yeah, score was 7-3. That's all. So coincidence.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, it was number 83 who scored the touchdown. And I got to verify this, but somebody told me that the guy who scored the touchdown, number 83, and the guy who got injured, that their high schools played each other in their championship this year. If anybody wants to look into that and confirm that, that would also further convince seemingly everybody how big of a ritual this is. That these guys, high schools, might very well have played each other in their championship this year. And it's not to say that all high school football is rigged, but there's definitely some rigging at all levels, depending on where you are. What's up? Open up.
Yo, could you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, so there was another football/soccer player who collapsed on field. From his birthday to Hamlin's birthday is 2,230 days, like 322. From Buffalo
Like the year
shooting,
we're in.
yeah.
Yeah.
From the Buffalo shooting to today is 42 weeks exact. And then from his collapse to the Super Bowl is 42 days, span of 42 days. And then regarding the 212 draft, from the collapse to the anniversary of the shooting this year is going to be 2 months, 12 days.
Okay, interesting. Good
Yep.
observations. All right, appreciate it. Thanks.
Yep.
All right. What's up, Niall?
Yeah, what's good, Zach? Long time no see. Calling in to share. So it looks like we got another heart chakra ritual. Pointed that out earlier this year or last year during the NBA Finals. But if you look at Damar Hamlin's gematria, perfect overlap with heart chakra and all 4 ciphers, his first and last name together.
They were tugging at the heartstrings with the broadcasters,
and they haven't revealed what his cause of injury, I guess, is yet. But I mean, to me, most likely he went into cardiac arrest. I think the previous caller was referring to Christian Eriksen, who went down last year, and he went into cardiac arrest on the field and had to resuscitate him. So I'm guessing it's probably going to be a similar story in this case. And even if he does survive, that'll be like, that'll be the narrative. Like he survived this, heart, attack essentially, or if he passes away, hopefully, I mean, we'll see. But, he died from a heart attack or, cardiac arrest, or survived a heart attack. So that was the number one thing that stood out to me when I was doing research on this. So that was another little tidbit to add to the research. But yeah, that was fucked up. Pretty crazy shit.
Indeed. Yeah, it's a great observation. And again, for people who don't know about chakras, look up the 7 chakras. They've been doing a lot of rituals this year with the heart chakra and tugging at the heartstrings.
And one thing I want to add, just as I guess something to consider for like futures. This is just research that I've been doing throughout the year. I've been doing a lot of research on the Eagles this season, and obviously their season being, very focused on Jalen Hurts. But just considering the heart chakra piece, like, we had last year with the Warriors and the Celtics, and, heart chakra is the green chakra and the, and all the list of chakra. I don't know what you would call them, but that's the green colored one. And obviously the Celtics went down the green team. So obviously the team that would fit that color narrative, so to speak, that is in the hunt right now would be the Eagles. And one of the narratives I've been looking at is the Super Bowl being on Abraham Lincoln's birthday. And obviously the Eagles are the only team technically in the league with a connection to Abraham Lincoln because they play in Lincoln Financial Field. And if you look at the gematria,
like the 103rd NFL season, like how the top shooting that said 10 dead, 3 injured, and opened on OJ's birthday, and the verdict for him was on 10-3. By the way, for people who are interested in that Bills-Eagles narrative, go back and look at the bowl game from 6 days ago between the schools that had the same mascot names as the Bills and the Eagles. So
if you run the gematria, Lincoln Financial Field and Abraham Lincoln's birthday, both 103 and full reduction. So that's another thing to consider. And then with the heart chakra thing, that might be a little extra juice just as far as like narratives, overall the esoteric narratives to pay attention to. But yeah, that's all I wanted to share tonight. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
And by the way, the 203 in his name and heart chakra also goes with the start of here we are at 23 and then leaving the field after 23 minutes.
Right.
So, yeah. All right, Niall, good one.
Yep, no problem. I'll let somebody else get it.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, see you. All right. For the person who's VIP CEO, you are in line, in front line. It's just you didn't connect your mic or your camera. I need at least your mic connected to bring you on. What's up, hey man?
Hey Zach, I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, man. First of all, I want to say thank you for all that you've done. I've been a follower of your work 3 years now. Dating back to Kobe was my first time really witnessing Gematria, and I've been a follower of your work ever since. And you absolutely kill it in all facets. So shout out to you for that. Watching this game, I just couldn't help but think about all the rituals that have been happening in Cincinnati. So within the NFL, of course. So during prime time as well. So Antonio Brown, he had a vicious hit back in Cincinnati. I'm not sure the year, and ever since that hit, he's never been the same. Obviously, Ryan Shazier, who got partially paralyzed playing against Cincinnati for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This year, Tua Tagovailoa, Miami Dolphins quarterback, against Cincinnati in Cincinnati primetime game, and obviously tonight Damar Hamlin with the Buffalo Bills primetime game against Cincinnati, playing for Buffalo Bills. So that just kind of caught my attention. It seems like every I guess horrible injury kind of really goes on in Cincinnati in primetime. So that just kind of caught my eyes. So yeah.
Okay, interesting observations. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night. All right, let's go out to Andrew. What's up, Andrew? You got to unmute your mic. There should be a little toggle. Let me see if I can unmute it for you. You have to do it yourself. Andrew, if you can't figure out how to do it right now, I'll go to somebody else and I'll come back to you. But it's down on the look at. There's only a few buttons you can click on the screen, but one of them's to unmute your mic. All right, we'll let Andrew figure it out, and we'll come back to it when he unmutes it. Let's go out to John. What's up, John?
Hey, how's it going?
Well, how are you?
So how you doing? It does make sense.
Huh? I heard a car pass by. I hope John didn't get
To look
ran over.
out for the Giants.
Start over,
Can you hear
John. You
me?
cut out.
Okay, sorry. It does make a little sense for the Eagles and the Bills for the Super Bowl, based on the records. If Eagles play 4 games, they'll have 27 wins. But also look for the Giants maybe for the 212 Super Bowl, 212 area code. If they win 3 games and then they get to the Super Bowl and lose to the Bills, that replay of 1991 Super Bowl, I think that's an interesting thing to look at.
Okay. No one would see that one coming. That'd be interesting.
Right.
All right.
Because how I see it playing out is potentially 49ers get the first spot if the Eagles lose.
You don't think it's
-14.
interesting that Brady got his 57th career comeback win in the Super Bowl stadium?
Yep. Saw that. But yeah, I think that, there's plenty of possibilities, but I was just looking at it today, and if the Giants have to play the first game against the Vikings, beat them, they would play the 49ers and potentially beat them based on the records, and then play potentially the Cowboys. And it's a 73 day. They have 73 losses against the Cowboys all time. So there's potential there that they could go to the Super Bowl and then lose to the Bills.
Okay. All right. Interesting thoughts. I appreciate it. Thank you, John. Okay. Hey, for all the people in the stream, again, you guys, I just got to say, I've been all over the country this year getting this knowledge out, talking to people about how evil this shit is and why people need to wake up and stop going to these sports games, because it is. It's wicked to go to these games. These games, these leagues are ruled by evil people. It's all energy manipulation. It's completely rigged. It's completely, these games are meant to mess with people's minds. Tonight's taking it to a whole new level, what they're doing. But if you guys want to see me get out more like I did this year, I need to see the support come back to what it was. I'm still debating on going down to LA for Kobe's anniversary. Really, I should be down there dropping the knowledge because it is the 3-year anniversary. but I want to see people come back and support. I'm asking people to pledge $1 a month. That adds up to a measly $12 a year. But if enough people do it, it gives me resources to get out and travel and pound payment and spread this knowledge. And if the support gets back up, I will be down in LA for January 26th. And I will be at the Super Bowl to wake people up as well. I got to get back down to Arizona anyway. That's my old stomping grounds where I went to school. But anyway, let's get back out to the next gentleman. I can't make him wait in line any longer. He comes out and pounds payment with us in Seattle. What's up, GAD?
What's good, Zach?
Yeah.
So I was watching this game with some friends, and of course, the abrupt ending. He was stopped at the 48 yard line, right?
That's where they stopped the ball at the 48.
Right, and so with all that being said, I heard you mention about vaccinations, and you were mentioning about arsenic, about how arsenic can be used along with cyanide for poisoning for a lot of these deaths, right? So I was looking through 48, and lo and behold, you have vaccination is 48, and so is arsenic, on the 48 yard line.
Just for the record, MNF is also 48. MNF
Right.
is 33 forwards and 48 in reverse, and those numbers actually have a mathematical relationship, 33 and 48.
Yeah.
Arsenic, for example, equals 33 and 48. The mathematical relationship is the divisors of 33, which are 1, 3, 11, and 33. You add them together, they equal 48. But anyway, go ahead.
And then tackle equals 38, right?
Okay.
Yeah, tackle equals 38, and he tackled the man at the 48 yard line. Also, too, the score stopped. It's postponed at 7-3, and of course, if you multiply 7-3, you have 21, which equals to Saturn. And you've been talking about the different sacrifices for Saturn the last couple weeks of different people in the entertainment industry. Also too, and a friend showed me this because the way the camera was angled from his perspective of the picture he showed me, where they're all huddled up like this right here. They're right in between both markers of the first down line and the scrimmage line. And of course, the scrimmage line is orange. The Bengals colors are what? Orange. In orange goes back to 33rd degree of Freemasonry. Okay.
So people don't understand that. Just the color orange is the color that has a gematria 33. So it makes orange unique.
Okay. Yeah. So there you go. And also too, 48 goes back to masonry as well. So those were some of the things that I saw just to share, just real quick on live.
Yeah, since you went into 48, I actually covered this morning in another stream, but I'm just going to bring it up right now. That if you guys have the Amazon streaming service, they just added this movie, and I want you guys to understand how they do this to us. They just added this movie, The Black Phone. It came out this past summer on Freemasonry's birthday, June 24th. It's about a serial killer who kills children in Denver, Colorado. And again, he puts them in a dungeon, and the dungeon has a floor that's just like a Masonic lodge, the black and white checkerboard pattern. And then one of the children who figures out how to escape figures out that the code to escape is 2-17-33. 2 pillars in Masonry, modern Freemasonry created in 1717. And of course, the highest degree of the Scottish Rite's 33. Just like how the House of the Temple, the Masonic headquarters in DC, is at the address 1733. And it has 33 columns on the outside that are each 33 feet tall. And again, American football is credited to Walter Camp, who was a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. But look at the gematria of the film, Black Phone, 42 forwards, 48 in reverse. Ethan Hawke's the star who plays the killer, 42, 48, like Freemason. And again, Masonry 33, Mason 17. The Black Phone is also how it's referred to, which is 57, like Scottish Rite, and it's set in 1978. And again, the film came out on June 24th. It was supposed to come out on January 28th. Then they moved it to 4/2, and then it finally came out on Freemasonry's birthday. And by the way, that's the day they overturned Roe v. Wade. You guys, think about it. They overturned Roe v. Wade, the killing of children, the plot of this movie. Anyhow, the Freemasons, the 2 pillars. 2 represents duality, keeping people divided, fighting over their little rituals. But anyway, The Black Phone, about a killer with Masonic symbolism all over it. And then again, it's set in Denver, which, I mean, from Columbine to a million other things, what they had this year on Christmas, the killings in the Denver area. But Denver, Colorado's got that 74, like London. That's where Masonry was created, like Masonic Holiday, Energy, Gematria, English, Cult, killing, like 3 of the first 5 presidents dead on 7/4. I was teaching this in Buffalo. You know, before the Buffalo shooting happened, I told people to circle that date long in advance. I said, just watch. That's Israel's 74th birthday. The word Jewish is also 74. I said, watch, something evil will happen that day. Ended up being the white supremacist shooting. White supremacist 74. That Tops is on Jefferson Street. Jefferson and Adams both died on 7/4, 1826. And then 1,826 days later, Monroe died on 7/4. 3 of the nation's first 5 presidents died on 7/4 on Independence Day. Again, you guys, this stuff's not an accident. It's all numerical ritual. You learn this knowledge, you'll see right through history and what's really been going on. This kind of stuff bothered me so much when I was a kid. How did 3 of the first 5 presidents die on July 4th? Like, how? How? And again, the same answer is because you got the same psychopaths in charge. And again, before I started studying this, I didn't think I thought magic was for Disney movies. But after looking at some of this stuff that goes on in pro sports, that's like where I've seen the craziest stuff happen. If this guy really, if it wasn't acting that made him collapse, you got to ask yourself what made him collapse the way he really did. You know, I know the clot shot's a possibility, but again, look what I'm showing you about all these numbers, his name, how perfect it all is. He's the perfect person for the Kabbalistic Clip-Off ritual. Again, Clip-Off is the evil side of the tree of life, which comes from Kabbalah, where this whole thing of letters and numbers comes from. So, while you're late, rewind the video, go and see what all these numbers are about in the ritual. Now, we've been talking about all this stuff all year, from the Queen to the top shooting to now Damar Hamlin. And do you have any more thoughts, friend?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Since you were talking about witchcraft and sorcery is 48. Ironically, so
both of those words are 48, huh?
Yeah, 48 in different ciphers, actually.
Witchcraft 48, there it is, right there. And anything ordinal 111 in Sumerian, it's 666. I knew that one about witchcraft. Sorcery.
Let's see.
Am I spelling sorcery wrong?
Sorceries.
Okay, but sorcery. But what I'm looking at sorcery, and I'm going, wow, 103. That's interesting. It's the 103rd NFL season. Again, the top shooting, 10 dead, 3 injured. So we've been talking about that one a lot. It's 41 days before the Super Bowl. But okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Zach, that's what I wanted to share with you. Yeah, keep up the good work, man.
All right, appreciate you coming on.
No problem.
You. All right. Decoding with Cody, what's up?
What the heck? So, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. It just had like that echo effect for a minute.
Okay, yeah. So, the first thing I noticed was, see, I can't watch the game because I don't have TV. I don't watch TV, but so I don't know about like all the players and stuff. But I was literally doing a decode about the Bengals at the very time that this happened, and I was doing. Did you hear about the Bengals plane having to make an emergency landing in JFK Airport?
Oh, I didn't know that was part of. I didn't know that was part of the story. No.
Well, no. Exactly a week ago on Christmas, the Bengals plane had to make an emergency landing at JFK Airport, and so what's interesting is that this guy that collapsed, he's from Pennsylvania. He's from Pittsburgh area. And he was born on March 24th, and Biden's born on the 324th day of the year. And this plane, I just think something might happen with Biden's plane at some point. I keep getting all this interesting, because you know how he tripped going up the plane steps a couple different times. And now this player's from Pennsylvania, and we just had that killer. He got captured in Pennsylvania, and there's just a lot of stuff I'm seeing with this. Like, and then you have these Bengals with 2 Joes, you know, because the Bengals have 2 Joes, Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon.
Right. And again, we've been talking about this, the year of Joe. Again, the year that Joe Burrow got drafted into the NFL was the year that Joe Montana Super Bowl 54 between his 2 teams, when Joe Montana equals 54. And then he beat the Bengals twice, and he gets drafted to the Bengals. And then he's in the Super Bowl in the year of the Tiger. But that was the year Joe Rogan got the record contract. Joe Biden won the election. And Joe Tiger King was the biggest show in the world. And I'm forgetting all the other Joe stuff, but they were going Joe crazy in 2020.
Well, I think they were going a lot of Joe crazy right now because of the whole Joseph being the son or the earthly father of Jesus. So I keep seeing, you know how Joseph Marley.
Sure, Joe and Mary goes together. Again, for people who don't know, September 8th, the day this season began, was the Virgin Mary's birthday. September 8th is celebrated as the Virgin Mary's birthday by the Catholic Church, the Immaculate Conception. Then in the NFL, the guy who's known for the Immaculate Reception dies 103 days after the season began when Steelers equals 103. And then in the Raiders-Steelers game, it goes into halftime with a score of 10-3 as they do the jersey retirement. And then the Steelers win on a late reception against the Raiders. So,
yeah, and like I said, I've been on this this thing with Friday the 13th coming up because remember, one day after the Friday the 13th in May, we had the shooting in Buffalo, and now we have a Friday the 13th coming up on the 13th day of the year. The 13th day of the year is the Ace of Spades card, the Death card. The 13th card in the Tarot card is the Death card. And it's 13 years after the Blackout Bowl. Or it's not 13 years after the Blackout Bowl. It's
that was Super Bowl 47.
Yeah, 47, but that was in 2013.
Right. So that'll be 10 years ago when this Super Bowl comes around.
And the Pope was the current Pope started his thing on the 13th. And so this 13 I've been making videos about this 13 number, and it's really looking interesting for the 13th coming up.
Okay.
Because,
all right, we'll keep an eye on that. All right, I'm going to let more people get in because we got a long line, but I appreciate it, Cody. Decoding with Cody, you guys, has got his own channel. Check him out.
All right, take care.
All right, take care. All right. VIP CEO figured out his mic situation. What's up, VIP?
Hey, brother, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I just lost the I stumbled across you guys. This is some really interesting stuff. What's the YouTube channel? What's the channel? I want to lock into the channel. I'm in the back office right now with you, but I can't find the channel anymore.
I have several channels. I have to shuffle channels because I get suspended all the time. YouTube hates me. I've been deleted 20 sometimes. But GematriaEffectNews and GematriaEffectSports. If you can remember to search those things, you'll find my channels. You just got to sort by latest post because they'll bury it in the algorithm. But GematriaEffectNews and GematriaEffectSports. Or you can just search my name, Zachary K. Hubbard. That's another way to find me out there. I got some books. So.
And how do I catch up on the stuff you guys were talking about earlier? Is this being recorded? I could catch the.
Yeah, you can go back and watch this stream. It's on Gematria Effect News 25 and Gematria Effect Sports. This stream will be up on.
Excellent. All right, buddy. I don't want to take up anybody else's time. This is some really good stuff.
All right, appreciate it. Glad you found the work, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, you have a good night. Again, you guys, if you do want to help me out, pledge $1 a month. Let's get the resources up. Let's start traveling a lot more than we did in the past year. It's going to take people getting behind this work. This work really should be out on the streets of America all the time. Again, if you missed what we did in New York City, we had people in New York City stopping in the street, Times Square, all over the city to tune into what we were talking about because people have never seen information like this before. Again, you learn about what this knowledge, you will not look at the world the same way again. And people need to have this information because these rituals are being pulled off on us every single day. Looks like Andrew got his mic figured out. What's up, Andrew?
Hey, Zach, can you hear me now?
Yeah, what's going on?
No, I just want to start off by saying that I appreciate the dedication to all this. It really is. The numbers are really talking to me. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed. Did you want to say more, Andrew?
No, I just wasn't sure if you could hear me or not. No, yeah. So one thing I kind of noticed I picked up on was the score when the hit happened was 7-3. So 7 plus 3 is 10. And then it was in the first quarter. So 10 plus 1 is 11.
Here, let's just stop right there real quick about 10. Like today's date numerology is 10. For example, just to see how this crosses sports. In Gematria, Suns equals 10. That's why we like the Knicks this morning. The Knicks stayed on 10 losses, defeating the Suns, and they beat them good. They beat them by 19 points, like the 19th card of the tarot deck's the Sun card. But anyhow, Again, you learn date numerology, you learn gematria, you start to see through these rituals. No doubt that is part of the reason the game's stuck on 10 points on a 10 date numerology. Okay, go ahead.
Right. So we're on 10 points in the first quarter. 10 plus 1 is 11, and then in the phrase "you're a clown" is 11 letters. You're a fucking clown. Get a life, Zach.
How am I a clown? See, that's a troll right there. So listen how dumb that was. I'm a clown, get a life. Again, winning on the knowledge every day, predicting futures. You guys, the trolls like that who just came on there, who couldn't even figure out how to work his mic for 15 minutes. Again, you guys, if for people who don't know, I have a paid-for pack of trolls who harass me 24/7, 365, who are likely paid for by the NFL, by the casinos, by the federal government. If you guys aren't aware of this, there really are troll farms that are paid for by things like Facebook, which is another federal operation, if you didn't know that. They want to harass certain people. It would be amazing to see how many people have made X amount of money on payroll just harassing me 24/7, 365 for the last 7 years. And what a jerk off right there at the call. Just you heard how dumb it got. But it's like, again, you guys, pay attention because you follow the numbers, you can pad your pockets. Let's go out to Jerry Cruz. What's up, Jerry Cruz?
Yeah, what up, Zach? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up?
Yeah, bro, that stupid ass shit tonight, bro. That shit was crazy as fuck. Like, motherfucking, I don't know, bro. It's I seen somebody comment that it was 103 days before Lincoln's death date. And that's interesting as hell because the Super Bowl is on his birthday. And what's crazy about that is, you know how the whole Virgin Mary birthday season started with fucking, you know, the queen with the Mary in her name dying, all that shit. Motherfucking Mary equals 57. And what's
Right.
funny about that is Lincoln's first lady was Mary Todd Lincoln. And what's
again,
fun-
the queen died on the Virgin Mary's birthday, and part of her birth name was Mary. And there's been a whole lot of Mary stuff we've been talking about this year. And that is right, because Lincoln was shot on April 14th and died April 15th, the 105th day of the year. And that is 103 days from today. And again, the Eagles do play at Lincoln Financial Field, and you just had the Eagles play Buffalo in the bowl game.
damn right. Damn
Yeah,
right.
so
And motherfucking, I ain't even realize that shit was the 105th day of the year because Arizona equals 105 and the Super Bowl gonna be in Arizona. You already know that. And what's even crazy is with the Philadelphia Eagles thing, you know, Philadelphia Eagles 87-93. 87-93 and Philadelphia 61-65. Lincoln started his term in 61, assassinated in 65. That's interesting as hell. Motherfucking what's
Philadelphia equals 61 and 65. But I get the joke of this now, if that's what they're going to do. So we have King Charles right now. King Charles. And again, the last King Charles was in the time of the English Civil War, right? So we're talking about Lincoln, the Civil War president. King Charles replaces the Queen. And remember what the news was this year on King Charles' birthday. That was November 14th. You had the dead Cavaliers football players, the 3 dead Cavaliers. Again, Cavaliers are people who fought for King Charles in the English Civil War. So that was the news on his 74th birthday, the killing number, like how you had the top shooting in Buffalo on the 74th birthday of Israel. And for people to understand how all these things are connected, the Jesuits run all these things. They run Israel, they run the royal family, they run the NFL, they run all your sports leagues, politics. They are the New World Order. When you hear Illuminati, the Illuminati was founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. But anyway, you got King Charles, which is representative of the English Civil War. And you guys, don't forget when LeBron won the finals, he won it on the real King James's birthday with the Cavaliers. And King James's son was King Charles. So also, I just want to remind people, the same day the news broke about the University of Virginia football player killings was the same day the Moscow, Idaho, University of Idaho killing news broke. And Moscow spelled the same way as Moscow, like in Russia. And King Charles is the first English monarch of Russian descent. So all of these things are major league rituals. They're all being executed by the numbers. We've been covering all these stories the whole time in case you're new here. But yeah, you guys should hear the phone call I made to the Moscow Police Department. And it's just such a big joke, you guys. Now, just to bring that up now, they said that they finally arrested the killer in Joe Biden's hometown. Joe Biden's the first Catholic president since JFK, who was killed on 11/22. And they said these kids were killed at the address 1122 on King Road. And then the news breaks on King Charles' birthday. Anyway, there's so much to it, but they waited 47 days to arrest the guy. And the lead police officer's name is James Fry, which equals 47, like policeman, like government, like authority, like blah, blah, blah. But anyway, go back to your thought, friend, because yeah, you're hitting on something big here with 103 days before Lincoln's birthday when the Eagles play in Lincoln Financial Field 103 in the 103rd NFL season.
Hell yeah. And so what's even crazier is Andrew Johnson, the person that took over, his name 6165 in the same exact ciphers as Philadelphia. And so what I was looking at, do you hear me?
You cut out for a second, but I hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, so Jalen Hurts, he has the perfect birthday for all of this because he's born on 8/7. We was just talking about all the number of the beast rituals, and Nicholas Sirianni. If you look at the Gematria's name, 174, 258. I believe 105 and 84. 105 like Arizona, 105, 84, just like Arizona. And the 258 and the 174, the Super Bowl is 17 weeks and 4 days after his birthday. Number of the beast also equals 87, just like Jalen Hurts' birthday, 8/7. And if you recall, the last time the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, the year before, it was the Houston Astros winning the World Series, just like last year in 2022. Houston TX 87, just like where Jalen Hurts was born. Jalen Hurts born on 8/7. And what's funny is I actually kind of found a parallel. This may sound stupid. If it's some bullshit, let me know. I already know you gonna let me know. If it's some bullshit, let me know. But motherfucking the U.S. Constitution. So George Floyd died on the day the Constitution Convention. It was in Philadelphia, right? The Philadelphia Convention. That started on May 25th, the same day that George Floyd died, if I'm not mistaken. And what's funny about that is George Floyd died in Minnesota. Minnesota hosted the Eagles' last Super Bowl 52, Minnesota 52. But what's even, I wish I could go on my notes here because I don't have a note. Is there any way
I want to point out something. The two biggest acts of racism that have gotten people really provoked in this nation in recent history, would you agree with this, is the George Floyd killing and also the Buffalo Tops shooting?
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, most definitely.
So think about this. Again, racism equals 63, like Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, the Bills had that crazy game against the Vikings, and they became 6-3 in that game. And that also just happened to be the game. That was their last loss of the season. That just happened to be the game where they got their 514th franchise loss, like the May 14th shooting.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah.
And for people who forget, the George Floyd killing supposedly happened on Memorial Day. What did Memorial Day come out of? It came out of the Civil War. So we're coming back to your Lincoln thought about the Civil War. And then you might recall that the Civil War statues got taken down all over the country, including the only one in Washington, D.C. of Albert Pike. There's a whole lot. I'm not going to go down that whole tangent, but just to bring it back to how you're talking about this Civil War theme. And again, that you guys, they've been using the NFL coinciding with like the stories that are trying to divide people in this country amongst race. You know, all of the white police officers shooting unarmed black men, the hands up, don't shoot, the Black Lives Matter, just trying to divide people over these stories through the media, the same media that's always trying to control people's minds. If people are new here, go back and read the USA Today article that they wrote about me in 2016. I was showing how the whole NFL season was synced up with all the shootings. And in October, I explained why the white Denver Broncos would beat the black Carolina Panthers and why Von Miller would be the MVP of that Super Bowl. This was all in October before the game was set, before it even happened. And why there'd be a Black Panther tribute at halftime. All of those things happened, which is why USA Today wrote their article. But again, I didn't get lucky. It wasn't an accident. We continue to call futures from then. All of this stuff is scripted. All you guys who cannot accept that this stuff is scripted, you need to get over your ego and your cognitive dissonance, because all of this stuff is leading us to our decline. We are ruled over by the same Roman circus that brought Rome to its knees. And it's happening again here in America. And again, people care more about these football games than the tyranny that's taken over this land and the tyrants that rule over us and make these policies and unleash germs that are developed in labs so that they can shut down your mom and pop business and have Walmart and Amazon take over the world even more. Again, that's the stuff you guys should really care about. But I'm just showing you how it's all connected. The sports, all of it. So anyway, go ahead again, friend.
Damn right. You're definitely right. And also one little small thing, I don't know if this matters or not, but 61 is the 18th prime, as we know. His first lady was born in 1818, and Bills equals 18. So that's something that's very interesting. And so I'm bringing this back to the first lady because we know that Jill Biden has the 6'3" birthday. we know about the 6'3" in the Buffalo shooting. And I'm trying to remember how long it was to her birthday. Do you know how? I know you're good with dates. Do you know how long it would be from February 12th to 6'3", June 3rd?
Oh man, I'm trying to think. What's a date in June that I know what it is off the top of my head?
June 13th is the day leaving 201 days left in the year. So
there you go. Exactly. And you asked me what, June 3rd?
yeah, June
So
3rd.
June
Yeah.
3rd would leave 211 days left in the year. And so what, you said from February 12th to June 3rd?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So February 12th is the 48th day of the year, or 43rd day of the year, leaving 322. So what is that? 111 days later?
100. Is it really 111? We know New York equals 111.
I think it is 111.
Yeah, if it's 111, we know that we know that New York equals 111, and that would be interesting. And so yeah, so the Jill Biden thing, and even
It is 111. I had to double check. It's 111.
okay, yeah, that's good. Then that's good. And also, I will circle back to the convention thing. I will circle back to that. But also her birthplace, their birthplaces have a lot of encoded in there. Her birthplace has the 20772, just like Buffalo Bills, and I believe that's Lexington, Kentucky, or one of the two. But I have a huge presentation on this in my notes, and I wanted to share it with you, but I don't have obviously any your email or phone or anything, and I can't go off and look at these notes on my phone because I'm on the strain on my phone. But I have a huge, it's a lot, like it's a shit ton of shit with this whole whatever the fuck they doing with the Abraham Lincoln and all of that. I'm not gonna take up all the time and try to explain it, but I do have some very very good information on all of that.
Well, again, I like the information you brought because you got me thinking more. And I'm like, well, yeah, this fits together because again, King Charles is the king now, and the last one was in the time of the English Civil War, and Lincoln's the Civil War president. They keep showing us the January 6th insurrection where the Confederate flag flew. Anyway, good thoughts, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, Jerry Cruz.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
All right, have a good one. All right, what's up, Eric?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, I just want to clear up that the Pennsylvania high school deals, so people aren't. I mean, they talk shit anyways, but I don't want them to accuse you of giving false information. So what it was is Clareton, where Tyler Boyd went in 2019, beat Stowe Rocks, who's from McKees Rocks, where Hamlin's from, but Hamlin didn't play at that school. He went to Central Catholic, which is a prestigious Catholic school in McKees Rocks, instead of playing at the, I guess, which is probably the public school. So Clareton beat a team from the town that he's from.
I see. I see.
So that's I investigated more. I wanted to make sure we had the real, the legit info on it.
Okay.
So
it's still close to the initial thought. It's not too far off.
Absolutely right. Boyd's high school still beat the high school from where the town that Hamlin's from. Right. He probably got chosen to go play at the Catholic school instead.
Indeed.
So,
Indeed.
But that's it, man. It's crazy. Keep killing it, brother. Fuck all them haters, man.
Appreciate that too. Thank
you.
All right. Have a good night. All right. What's up, Gematria 2?
Hey, Zach. Yeah. I have a question, man. Is there any significance with the number 71 or 43 to this?
Well, the Super Bowl's on the 43rd day of the year. The word football equals 43. The word Catholic 71. He went to a Catholic high school, but what caught your mind about those numbers?
Well, because LeBron James dropped 43 points tonight, and then right above it, like on headlines, it says Cavs Donovan Mitchell nets 71, most since Kobe in OT win. So that's why. It didn't tie anything.
And tonight the Lakers and Charlotte played each other, and it was a huge 13 ritual in that game. And of course, Kobe was the 13th pick of the draft by Charlotte before he got sent over to LA, the 13th city. So there's probably something about those teams playing tonight and those league-wide rituals, and like how you just brought up Kobe. And I'm just thinking today's 24 days before the anniversary of Kobe's death, right? He finished his career wearing number 24. Another time number.
The other thing is I live in Florida, and the death in Ocala, the shooting, it said 2 dead and 4 injured. The shooting you were talking about earlier today. So that
and this guy who they did this to tonight. Now that I think about it, he's 24 years old.
Yeah.
And his birthday is March 24th, born on the 24th, the 83rd day of the year. So
my question for you is, and then you can go to the next person, is do you think that they did this because they were just low on ratings and they just kind of wanted to show everyone that, like, we don't give a fuck?
no,
You know,
man, this
these
is
are
what they
our-
do. They set
these
up
are our
stories,
people.
narratives, storylines. This is how they do it. I mean, they manufacture it sometimes outside of the football stadium. Sometimes they manufacture on the football. This is a narrative. This is a story. You're going to be hearing about this through the rest of the NFL season, the playoffs. I mean, it's highly likely. The only other team that you can really imagine being in the Super Bowl in the AFC at this point is the Chiefs. But, you know, I mean, you're going to be hearing about this in the Super Bowl. If they end up telling us he died, you know, the players are going to be wearing a patch for him. I mean, this is what they do.
They milk the hell out of this. You're right. Sad.
It is sad. And that's why people need to stop going to these games, you guys. I mean, everyone who saw the highlight, he didn't die from the play on the field. He tackled him, and he got up and gave him a shoo, and then all of a sudden he just collapsed.
Oh, yeah, and you're shadow banned right now like crazy on Twitter because literally there's a hashtag for #Gematria, and your tweets are not even there. I mean, it's completely messed up because I think people are finally waking up to this shit. That's why the ratings are low. The ratings on all of this are like, you know, every sport ratings are down like crazy because I think people are waking up to the fact that this is all bullshit, you know? And yeah, that's why you're really shadow banned like crazy because I wasn't even paying attention. I just go on ESPN.com and this is the first thing that pops up. I'm immediately like, oh, yep, I know Zach's going to say some shit about this one because you know that like this stuff it's so out of the ordinary that it has to be a ritual, even without the numbers. I mean, the fact that the biggest game of the year, quote unquote, now has this, you know, these coded rituals. With 30
Here, just pause for a minute. Just for people who got here late, just again, you guys, this is a ritual. 33 is the number of Monday Night Football. It's because if you're new here, Kabbalah has something called Gematria. There's something called Gematria, the killing name. Anyway, Gematria is the Kabbalistic practice coin numbers into words. MNF, it's the 13th letter plus the 14th plus the 6th, 33. Every single week, they're doing a 33 ritual on Monday Night Football. Just look at this photo. The only person standing is number 33. It's a number of masonry. American football is credited to the Scottish Rite Freemason Walter Camp. Yep. But here's the thing. This player, who this happened to, Damar Hamlin, it's 81 days before his birthday. In Gematria, ritual equals 81, so does Bills. And then further, the Super Bowl's on 2-1-2, and he happens to be the 212th pick of the draft. It's also 41 days before the Super Bowl. Super Bowl's got the Gematria 41 forwards, 49 in reverse like Damar Hamlin. And again, the Queen died at 96 on the day the Bills opened the season winning, and Buffalo's known as the Queen City. So is Cincinnati. Notice how his full name, again, his abbreviated name, Damar Hamlin's 49. His full name, Damar Romiel Hamlin, is 96 and 111. Again, the Queen dies at 96, born on the 111th day of the year. Cincinnati's the 96th city. Go back and look at the 5/3 thirds bank shooting back in Cincinnati on 9/6, which we covered some years back. It was a ritual synced up with the Bengals season. The score's 7-3. Again, it's 117 days from the season beginning. Buffalo Bills won 17. It happens to their player. Remember, the Buffalo shooting on 5/14 was 117 days before the season opener, the day the Queen died. And again, the Bills just happened to be on 514 franchise losses, 514, like the 5/14 shooting. And again, they became 6-3, right, in their 63rd season against Minnesota, their last loss in the crazy game. And again, just racism, what happened with George Floyd by the numbers, what happened in Buffalo at the top shooting. So anyhow, this is the quick and dirty of the ritual with Damar Hamlin and what they've done tonight. And it's nothing new. If you're new here, this stuff goes on all the time. Every last game in this league is rigged. That's how they get these perfect rituals. I mean, you just have to think, what are the odds that the Bills could be on 514 losses at the time of this critical ritual when they had the 514 shooting? It's because the whole thing is scripted.
500. That's another thing with the LeBron, in the LeBron thing. It said he's 500 points away from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know?
And for earlier, I don't know if they're still saying it, but ESPN kept projecting earlier this year that he'd pass Kareem in the game in February against the Bucks, and Kareem played for the Bucks and the Lakers. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out Dan Calloway. Literally, what he said is exactly how I was thinking. It's more eyes, more fear.
Indeed. Shout out to Dane Calloway. And Dane, I hope that family's getting healthy because we got to do this interview, my man. I've been waiting for this interview with Dane Calloway. We're going to put something together for his audience. If you guys don't know who Dane Calloway is, I'd be mesmerized because he is large and in charge. For all you guys out there who don't know who Dane Calloway is, the man with the generous donation, be sure to check out his channel. He's doing very important things in the world of truth as well. So
Let's break the internet. Fine. All right, but yeah, do I leave the studio or you just kick me?
well, thanks for coming on. You can stay in the room, but I'll let the next person on. But thank you, Gematria, too.
Yeah, you ever go, man?
Yeah, you too. Hey, speaking of the last guy I saw in Buffalo, what's up, Michael?
Hey, what's up? How you going? How you doing, Zach?
Doing well. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, I was watching it too. I seen what happened with Danny Hamlin and stuff. And like my dad, because my dad's a big Bills fan, and my dad he thinks it's he loves the Bills. He's a Bills fan, and I try to explain it to him, but he's just kind of like, he's not really receptive to it because he loves the Bills, and I'm just like, I don't know how to tell, him or my family, like this is not all real. You know what I mean? Like I just, because they're so not receptive to it, they don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? It's just.
Yeah, they represent probably at least 80% of America, just closed-minded, don't want to know anything, and just going along with what they're told from the authorities and the screens. So.
Right. I mean, like I said, I try to tell my dad. My dad's a big Bills fan too, so it's kind of hard to really get through to him, So I kind of just let it be, I try to get through to him, but it's not gonna. I just wanted to come on here and say just chat it up a little bit, but yeah, that's pretty much all I had. I just so. That's
Well,
all I
I
got.
appreciate it, Michael, and thanks for trying to get out the word, even though people are hard-headed, and thanks for coming out to Buffalo with us. Because again, I've been out to Buffalo twice this year to talk about the top shooting. We were out there right after the shooting, and then we were back there again in the beginning of September. And again, we did find a lot of people who really did appreciate the information in Buffalo. And again, like I said, I just put up the message. If you guys can help me get back up on Patreon, I'd like to be in LA for January 26th for the Kobe anniversary and see who else we can wake up to what's really going on in this world. Again, Kobe Bryant, 41, dead at 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age while traveling from Catholic Mass. Not to mention, I wrote a book years before Kobe died about Kobe's scripted career around the number 41. So,
we were talking about synchronicities and all that with the number 95, and like the place where I live, like the number from my landlords here, the last four digits are 95995.
As you say that, I realize it's 8:24 out here on the West Coast right now, like Kobe's jersey numbers.
What really trips me out too is what is it? When you write out 666, it's 95. It's just weird. Like the synchronicities are just weird when you really start to look at it. It's just so weird.
Indeed.
But
Indeed.
But yeah, that's all I had. I just said, keep up the good work, man, and I'll let you get going.
All right, Michael, you have a good night, man. Stay strong.
Yeah, you too.
Take care. All right, what's up? I'm going to let Mr. Futures skip in line because I can't keep Mr. Futures waiting any longer. If you guys don't know Mr. Futures, Mr. no spaces. Make sure you're subscribed.
What's up, Zach? I appreciate you letting me skip. Thank you, man.
Well, you deserve to skip in line. You've earned it. What's up, Mr. Futures?
So I'll get to it quick. I didn't watch the whole entire video, but I just wanted to talk about this real quick. In connection to Super Bowl 57, which everybody who decodes sports now is going to be talking about what happened tonight and Super Bowl 57. But did you know that Buffalo Bill was born on the 57th day of the year?
I did not realize that. And Josh Allen, he played in Wyoming, and Wyoming's got a town named after Buffalo Bill. And we've been talking about some wild stuff that's been going on this year with deaths in Wyoming, the death of the girl who sang the song from Silence of the Lambs, famous song, Goodbye Horses, where the killer in the movie Buffalo Bill's dancing to her song. And you guys might recall that woman, Q Lazarus, who sung that song, she died in the preseason, and she died between the two Bills preseason games that were between the two horse teams, the Colts and the Broncos. But anyway, go ahead, Victor.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, it's just crazy that the team that the Buffalo Bills are named after, the individual himself, Buffalo Bill, was born on February 26th, the 57th day of the year, obviously talking about Super Bowl 57. But the funny thing about that also is you've been speaking about the number 14 for the longest, and obviously Super Bowl 57 is 14 days before Buffalo Bill's birthday. So,
and it's on the 43rd day of the year, the 14th prime number.
Exactly. So I wanted to bring that to your attention if you didn't already know. But more importantly, just the number 57 itself, obviously, you've been talking about its connection to championships for the longest, but the numerology of it is obviously 12, right? So just speaking about 57 and 12, obviously Super Bowl 57 is on the 12th day of the month, which, you know, was interesting. But today being 1/2 like 12. And then in today's game, you had the score 3-7, like 37 to 12 prime. MNF equals 12. We're on the 12-month calendar, obviously. So there's this significance with the number 12 and what happened today and its importance. And obviously the Super Bowl, and then the owner of the Buffalo Bills, Terry Pacula, his name not only equals 201, but it equals 102 in the pure cipher, which, you know, minus the zero in numerology could be looked at as the number 12. So there's this big connection to the number 12 going on. And, you know, I just wanted to bring that up in possible connection to Super Bowl 57 and or, you know, the Super Bowl itself happening on the 12th day of the month. So I just thought that was really interesting.
Those are all great observations. And by the way, it is week 17. Of course, Allen wears number 17. Allen equals 17. The game started with a 17-yard pass to Diggs tonight, who wears number 14. And it reminded me of Peyton Manning in his 18th season, starting the Super Bowl with a wounded duck pass to number 81 for an 18-yard gain. But, yeah, great observations, Vic.
And Buffalo also sitting on 12 wins right now, during, you know, when this happened. It's like, you know, there's so many synchronicities with that number. I know you'll probably dive deeper into it and have an even thorough.
You know, now that you say that, yeah, you're right. Their record's 12-3, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Conspiracy has that gematria 123 and 51. Cincinnati's also 51 in the same cipher. And when I think Conspiracy and 51, I always think Area 51. But anyway, yeah, all the numbers are right for this ritual, man. So.
And I'm not.
What's your take? What's your take, Vic? You think it's acting? You think it's voodoo magic? What's going on here?
I mean, we know these are athletic actors. That you know, that's what they get paid for. That's what they get paid the big bucks, right? We're watching athletic soap operas, theater happen right in front of us, and that's all it is. But just to speak about one more thing, the owner of the Buffalo Bills, he's actually born on the 86th day of the year. And we know that number in connection with sacrifice and killings and all that. I'm not sure if this player actually is going to live or die, but I just thought it was very interesting that he was born on the 86th day of the year / the 27th day of the month, with the connection to the ritual number and Buffalo itself. So it's like, there's so many synchronicities, you know, it's beyond a coincidence what's going on today. So it should open a lot of eyes. And that's why I had to come on here and just to let you know some of the things I saw on top of everything you've already presented. It's crazy.
Well, I appreciate it, Vic. And yeah, for the record, you guys, I'm pissing off Sweet Lady tonight because we were supposed to have our nice little date night. But I said, I got to cover this. I said, everyone's going to be tuned into this. This is the type of thing I got to wake people up. So Sweet Lady's not happy right now. That's the sacrifice I got to make over here. But anyway.
Salute to Sweet Lady. How you doing?
Indeed.
All right, Zach, I'm going to get out of here, but take care. We'll speak soon. Happy New Year, by the way.
Same to you, Vic. Have a good night, man.
Take care.
Yeah, take care. All right, what's up, HD? Oh, your mic's muted. You got to unmute the mic. There you go.
Yo, Zach, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up? I hear you.
Yo, check this out, bro. It's one of my New Year's resolutions to tap in with the guy himself, man. Look, I've been following you since, I would say, like 2011. I done made so much money arguing with so many superstars, all this other stuff, bro. We got a lot of stuff to catch up with, but I just wanted to tell you, man, like, you put me up on some information, bro. I'm from Los Angeles. So I need you to come out here. I found you when you did the Carolina Panthers with Cam Newton in them.
Right, so, Cam Newton, Peyton Manning Super Bowl.
Bro, I found that out, and then you gave me the LeBron info, And then I went and put 6,666 on the Cavs for that game, bro, and they smacked. And ever since then, I've been arguing with some of the biggest stars in the world, bro. Like, we'll tap in. I wanna build a relationship with you. Like, I'll give you my Instagram. You can see who I am and the type of people I know, bro. They blind, bro. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta tap people in, bro. And I appreciate what you've been doing for the whole culture.
Well, I appreciate I got people like you out there, and yeah, I do want to come down to LA. I feel like the LA is the right city to get out the information. So, especially
Bro,
for the
can you come down here on the Kobe Day? I live downtown. I'll come and link up with you. It's a lot of stuff I gotta tell you. I don't want to tell you on here first. You get what I'm saying? Like, stuff I don't want people to really know about out there like that. Like, you got it, bro. You got it all figured out, dog. I just wish you would do a little bit more syncs. You should do a little bit more synchronicities for people, bro. Because the common person is blind, dog. They need to see the synchronicity in it, not just the gematria. They need to see some of the syncs.
Now, do you mean like the organic side of things?
No, just the synchronicities and how, like, whatever, bro. They'll be talking about ketchup, and then you'll see ketchup on TV
sure.
at the same, like, just all the synchronicities that happen between the gematria and the sports, how we see them, but the common person doesn't see it.
Sure. One of the best examples, just you bringing that up, one of the best examples, I'll never forget it. It was the Cowboys-Lions playoff game probably 6 years ago now. But if you remember, there was a Dodge commercial they were showing a lot back then, and it was showing the old Dodge logo, which was the Star of David. And they were showing this commercial all the time during that NFL season. And it was the last commercial shown on the break, and then they came back, and the Lions were beating the Cowboys. But then they came back, and they used some kind of graphic over the setting sun in Dallas, and they made the sun actually look like the Star of David. And then, like, it came back, and it was just like some blatant, ridiculous call against the Lions that was like a game-changing call. And that was all Cowboys the rest of the way. And they're the Lone Star State too, right? And then the Cowboys, of course, took over the game and won. I was like, look how they just did that. They end from the commercial with the Star of David. Then they come back and change the sun into the Star of David. And then it's all Cowboys.
I mean, bro, the synchronicity is crazy. I mean, I hit 3 out of the 6 lottery ticket numbers last week, bro, just because I'm tapped in with the universe, bro. And I just literally 3 out of the 6 for the Mega Millions, bro. Like, just spot on, and the mega number. But that's all just coming from practicing the knowledge, bro, from just always seeing the synchronicity of numbers throughout the day. And I'm like, you know what? Let me put these numbers in. Just little stuff like that makes a difference for the common person, bro, because they too indoctrinated by the religion and news, dog.
Indeed they are. Indeed they are. Well, I'm really glad you came on, and I do look forward to meeting down in LA. So,
yeah, I mean, how can I contact you or send you my information so you can look me up or whatever?
Send me an email right now. Just put LA in the title, and my email is send it to GematriaEffectSports@gmail.com.
All right. Oh, shit. Let me write it down. GematriaEffectSports@gmail.com.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Put LA in the title. I'll know it's you.
Say that again?
Just put LA in the title. I'll know it's coming from you.
Okay, bro. Much appreciated, man. I look forward to building with you. I don't want to take up all the time, bro. We'll meet in the next couple of weeks, bro. I promise you.
I look forward to it. All right, HD. Thank you.
Respect, bro.
Have a good night. All right, that's HD out in LA. What's up, Corey?
Hey, what's up? How you doing, Zach?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. We've talked before about my great grandpa being a pro boxer and stuff.
Right.
So, did you hear about the Joe Brooks case in Waukesha, where I live in Wisconsin?
What happened in Waukesha? The guy who ran over the Christmas people?
Yeah.
I don't know what the update is. What's the latest?
I don't know. I think that was like a massive ritual because it happened.
Oh, I covered that at the time. Yeah, that had 201 all over it, just like every other major racially divisive ritual they've done in the last X amount of years.
So you believe that was staged too?
Well, okay. If you go back what they said that guy was released from jail early by the attorney general, who was a Jesuit, who went there to Marquette, just like how the mayor of the town's a Jesuit from Marquette, whose office is at 201. For people who are new here, the Jesuit order equals 201. The first Jesuit popes, the first to live in suite 201. This number's massive with the Jesuits. The whole George Floyd thing was a massive 201 ritual. So was Michael Brown. So was the Buffalo Tops. But the Waukesha thing was a huge 201 thing. And if you watched on Fox News, they were carrying it like the black gangster rapper drives over the white Christmas prayed people, just more racially divisive crap. And again, they were like, why did this attorney general let this guy out of jail early? I'm guessing they brought him out early to do the exact ritual that they did. So I don't know exactly what happened there, but I guarantee you the same Jesuit scumbags that are behind every other thing I'm exposing on this channel are behind that too.
I believe it was staged too.
For people who don't know this, the first forward pass in football history was thrown in Waukesha. And if you guys did not know this football history, there was never a forward pass in football history before St. Louis University did it in Waukesha. St. Louis University is a Jesuit school. It's near where the Michael Brown shooting happened in Ferguson. But what's amazing about that is if you go back to the old ESPN article about Tom Brady, it's an article called The Road to 201. Remember, Tom Brady was married to Giselle, born on the 201st day of the year. He was born in 1977, 201 years after this country and 201 years after the Illuminati was established. Order of Illuminati equals 201. Adam Weishaupt, the Jesuit, the founder, died 201 days after the anniversary of his establishment. But again, Tom Brady got his 201st career win over the Rams. The Rams are the only team in the NFL with Jewish gematria that equals 201. But again, they were in St. Louis when he did that. In St. Louis, the Jesuit school had the first ever forward pass. And of course, in Wisconsin, which is also known as football land, again, Vince Lombardi was the Jesuit who died unexpectedly at Jesuit Georgetown. Right now, the quarterback of the Packers, Aaron Charles Rodgers, his name's 201. But,
Wow, that's crazy.
Again, the whole thing in Waukesha was a major ritual for more racially divisive crap. And again, look into who let him out of jail early. It was the Jesuit AG.
So we're I guess we're on the same page, man.
Indeed. Yeah.
A lot of people just think I'm freaking crazy.
Yeah, well, me too, man. I still can't get my friends who all abandoned me in 2013 to talk to me. So
yeah. And did you hear that Apple, that DA of Alaska County wants to retire after 3
to help them
years?
catch up.
Did you hear about that?
A few more people get in, but yeah, keep trying to spread the knowledge. Again, we have to keep doing it eventually. The thing is, when there's enough people who are like you and I spreading the word, people will start to realize it's a trend, and then they'll want to become a part of it. If most people just follow the trend, and the trend is right now to just listen to the authorities and obey Big Brother and go along to get along, and whatever's on the TV's reality. That's why I work every day doing this and try and change that paradigm we're in right now. So anyway, appreciate you, Corey.
You too. Good night, man.
Yeah, have a good night. All right. Truth does not exist. Thanks for the patience. What's up? And shout out to Yeah Right the Matrix. Appreciate your generosity. Again, I can't get that man to stop donating. Most generous guy on earth.
Hey, Zach. Just saw we have like 1,300 viewers. Anyway.
Well, we were up to about 2,700 at one point because I'm on 2 different channels. Between the 2, we had about 2,700, which isn't bad. So.
Wow. So I wanted to say, so I left a comment on the last video that you did about the magnetic football thing. I don't know if you saw it. I don't think that you read any of the comments there, but so I'm going to read it again. So I'm an engineer, so I know how a lot of this stuff works, including all the magnetic technology and one thing. One thing that I'd like to share with you is, here, let me get the article. It's a magnetic wormhole. This is actually the more advanced technology that they might use, but I'll put the link in the private chat here. So a magnetic wormhole. So basically how it works is that they can put a magnetic field anywhere that they want. And so like they can, like, let's say you have instead of a magnetic field, usually they can't go very far. But with this technology, it can go really far, and it can, like, let's say you have a ball in the air, you can move the magnetic field to where you want the ball to go. So like in midair, you can change what direction it's going. So
here, pause real quick. Everybody look up the Lamar Jackson review of a field goal. He points out, he says, look at this field goal. He says, there's no wind. You can see the goalpost. There's no wind on the flags. And everybody knows who follows football. Justin Tucker is one of the best kickers in the history of the NFL, arguably the best ever. And the ball's going dead right down the middle. Looks like it should be good. And then all of a sudden it just shanks off. And you've seen this if you pay attention to the games. Just these balls that just all of a sudden get this late spin and just go off course and miss. This has become a more and more common trend in the NFL. But Lamar Jackson's like, How is that even happening? Because, of course, they lost that game when the ball shanked off. But what Truth Does Not Exist is explaining is the technology they're using in these balls to make them just change the course of their path. And if you're watching these NFL games, you should see this stuff happen pretty frequently. These balls that just look like they're like knuckleballs the way they're moving in the air. It doesn't even make sense. But go ahead.
So the magnetic technology. So what I'm gonna assume is that inside the balls are neodymium magnets. Neodymium is the strongest magnet there is. They sound like on anywhere you can buy them anywhere. They're really powerful. And so what they do is that they line the ball the inside, and they're all facing the same pole. So like all the magnets are lined up, and they're all like on the outside, they're all facing, let's say, the North Pole, right? So so that's the magnetic poles. So in the players' gloves, actually in the clip that you showed, you can see that they have like all these sleeves and padding and stuff. So I'm just gonna read my comment. So I said the inside of the ball is likely covered with small neodymium magnets or a thin layer of iron or another ferrous substance. The gloves probably have copper coils in the palm. So like, right here you have you can put a big flat copper coil. If you've never seen a flat copper coil, electromagnetic coil, you can actually look at like the phone chargers, the wireless chargers. If you open up a phone, they have like these flat coils. So you can put that inside the glove. And then smaller coils on the fingers, and the power is likely from lithium-ion batteries hidden inside their padding. So they always have like these big things like this. They could easily hide circuitry and batteries inside of all the padding that they have. And then I would imagine that the magnetism is remotely controlled wirelessly through a small Arduino computer, and if not, then there may be a button somewhere in the suit accessible to the player to control the electromagnet. If all the magnets in the ball facing outwards have the same pole, north or south, then if you reverse the current going to the gloves, then they repel the ball, and it will do a much farther throw, and if you reverse it again, then the ball is attracted to the hand. The clip shown was likely a glitch or short in the wiring causing the ball to be attracted to the hand, i.e. power kept going to the glove even though it was supposed to be switched off. Since the player was able to take the glove off without wires, then the battery may be hidden inside the glove, flat lithium-ion battery, or the battery is in the padding and the glove has contacts, likely carbon, so probably like graphite. What I'm gonna guess is that like the sleeve has little graphite contacts on it that are black, so you can't even see that, and then it has that graphite going up and then going up into the suit, because you only need two wires. You need the positive and the negative terminal, and that's it. So then likely carbon that align with other contacts on the rest of the suit. They could be using a different battery technology with a higher power density than lithium ion, and they likely replace the batteries before each game because they may be one-time use. So these people have the budget to do that. They can have like some other battery technology. Lithium ion is not the only batteries out there. There's a lot of other ones that don't recharge, and they might just use those. One thing I also thought was they could easily fit capacitors inside of the suits. There's flat capacitors, there's capacitors that they could hide in the padding. If you add a capacitor, then what that's going to do is that it's going to the energy that from the battery is going to charge up, and then like let's say you want to throw the ball, right? So right at that moment that you let go of the ball, if the capacitors release all their energy, that's going to be a really strong magnetic field that's going to be created that's going to repel the ball, and it's going to make it go way farther than if you just threw it normally. And also, if you're going to catch a ball, then if you put capacitors and they release all their energy, like let's say the ball's like 6 inches away or a foot away from your hand, right? Then that small burst of power is going to change the ball's direction, and then it's going to come towards you. Maybe what they also do is that they probably fill the balls with hydrogen to make them lighter, because if they have magnets inside, that's going to add some weight. So they might put some hydrogen in there to kind of counteract the magnets. Or the thing isn't completely covered in magnets, it only has a few, because neodymium magnets can be really small but also still very strong. They're extremely strong. And so they might just have like a few of the balls not completely coated in them. It's just parts of it. And then for instance, if the ball's really light, then it's actually really easy to throw it really far. If you fill a ball with hydrogen, and we don't know what these balls are made of, if you fill it with hydrogen, then they're going to go really far because hydrogen is actually 6 times lighter than helium. Helium, which makes balloons go up and stuff, it's 6 times less dense, and so it has like 6 times the force up. So that's my theory on it. A lot of that stuff is like very basic like engineering knowledge and stuff. All the magnetic stuff, like they could have been doing this stuff in the 1980s. Like this isn't like super advanced technology, except other than the magnetic wormhole thing. None of that stuff is advanced technology. I could literally build it probably with stuff I find in the garbage, because this is not like super advanced, and this is very easy to do.
Yeah, very interesting information and a bunch of great thoughts. And again, no doubt they're using technology to ensure outcomes, and there's a reason there's more and more circus and miraculous catches in the NFL by the week. Appreciate a lot. Truth does not exist. If you guys are not subscribed to this channel, he's only 18 years old, brilliant mind, and he's been helping out the community for a long time already. His YouTube channel is just like you see on the screen. Truth does not exist. Thank you, buddy.
And so you were talking about watching Black Phone. So in the chat, I put a link to Soap Today. You can see it right here. I think I'll post it again. So this has not only stuff from Amazon, so you can, maybe if you could put it up on the screen for people. Here, I'll post it again here in the private chat. There we go. So you can, so on there, it's gonna say home, so you click home and then it'll take you to the site. So this website has like all, you're not gonna get in trouble for using this, by the way. This has everything from Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, HBO, all the other streaming services, Peacock, Stars, any service you can imagine. It doesn't have every single movie and every single show. Like it didn't have Tim and Eric and other stuff I wanted to watch, but it has mostly everything. It has a lot of old movies. Even like all the way back to like the 30s and 20s and stuff. It has pretty much any movie that you can want, and it's all free. And it also has sports. I think they're live sports. I don't watch sports, so I don't know, but it does have a whole section for sports and all the live events and World Cups and football and derbies and like everything. So this is like, sometimes the quality's a little bit low. Like it'll be 720 or something, but if you're spending like $60 or something, or any amount of money on streaming services, you could just use this instead for free, and you save a bundle.
Okay. So people want to check out the link he's talking about. Soap, like body soap, SOAP. 2 day, DAY.TO. Soap2day.to. All right, appreciate it, man.
And that's it. Yeah. Off stream, we can talk about the calculator. The only thing I need from you is I need to figure out some of the stuff with the date numerology and a couple of ciphers, and that's it.
Okay.
That's the only thing I wanted to ask you about, but we can do that another time.
We'll do it tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, bye.
All right, have a good night. All right, we got one more person in the chat. N201, what's up?
Yo, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. I just wanted you to know that today is 133 days from the 1-year anniversary of the Buffalo shooting.
Okay, football 133.
Federal Bureau of Investigation 133.
Okay.
The Bills could have become 13-3 tonight.
Oh, true.
But and the Buffalo shooting was 133 days before Mayor Brown's birthday, which we covered. And
have they announced when they're going to move this game to?
I haven't seen anything on it.
Okay.
But one thing about Hamlin's birthday is it's March 24th, like 24/3. And we know 243 is a CIA number because Central Intelligence Agency's 243 and 117, just like Buffalo Bills is 117.
Right. Indeed.
And it's just, what are the odds that this unprecedented thing happens when the Bills are on 514 losses? And ambulance equals 27. Ritual equals 27, and Buffalo equals 27.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting.
The first touchdown in the game was by number 83, and there were 12 minutes and 34 seconds left in the first quarter. That's when the first touchdown was scored, with 12:34 left in the first. And the game was on ABC, just goes to show you that they're showing you that everything is ABC 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just a complete joke. And you're trying to tell like people that don't know about this information, this kind of stuff, they're like, someone got injured. Like, have some respect for the people. Like, people are just fucking retarded. Like, someone really got hurt out there. It's like, have some respect. It's like, if that's your fucking viewpoint on this, then, like, yeah, bathtub razor blades. But that's all I got, Zach.
All right, man. Well, good observations. Appreciate it.
Yeah, peace.
All right, take care. All right, what's up? 208 from 201 to 208. What's up?
Yo, so just real quick about T. Higgins, the receiver that he tackled. I just thought of it while he was talking. His birthday is January 18th. I don't know if anybody mentioned it. 118 like death. You've mentioned that pattern millions of times. And then also, while I was waiting, I seen in this little private chat somebody named VIP CEO is asking if you can bring him back because he has a question.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't looking at the private chat. My bad. But here, I'll bring him back right now since you said that. What's up, VIP CEO?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, you had made a comment earlier on how these things, these games are releasing negative evil energy, and they tie into all the ritualistic events. Can you just define that to me? Like you were saying to get away from these things. And thank you, my brother, for letting them know to check the private chat.
Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of examples. Again, you already heard me talk about the Buffalo Top shooting being synced up with their season opener, right? You heard me talk about that. Okay, here, just let's go back. What put this work on the map? USA Today wrote their article about me. This work came on a lot of people's radar in 2016 because I nailed every sports future, and it was from understanding how they were scripting the news with sports. But what I started to look at for the Super Bowl 50, this was the year that Cam Newton of the Carolina Panthers lost to Peyton Manning and the Broncos in Super Bowl 50 in San Francisco. And something that I used to be a school teacher, for people who don't know my history, so I know a little bit about history and some subjects. And I always thought it was funny that Cam Newton was the big star for the Panthers in light of the fact that Huey P. Newton founded the Black Panther Party.
Yeah.
And I thought that was funny before I knew about this whole thing of Kabbalah and letters and numbers. I didn't understand all that until 2013. But so I started to count.
Seems pretty blatant.
So look at this. In Gematria, Huey P. Newton equals 58. And he started the Black Panther Party in San Francisco, where Super Bowl 50 was. Now, I counted up all the quarterbacks who'd ever started in a Super Bowl, and I said, oh, my God. I said, if Peyton Manning starts in the Super Bowl, he's already been in one, so it's not going to adjust the count. The next quarterback to start in a Super Bowl will be the 58th. And I said, that's it. It's going to be Cam Newton. He'll be the 58th. It's going to be a defensive game because Peyton Manning can't even throw the ball anymore. And who was drafted one pick after Cam Newton? Of course, Von Miller was, who wore the number 58. So it just all started to make sense to me. And plus, 58 is a special number. If you write out in Gematria, Freemasonry equals 58, so does Secret Society. And notice they stopped the clock on tonight's game with 5 minutes and 58 seconds. That stuff's not an accident. But anyhow, Cam Newton became the 58th quarterback to start in the Super Bowl. Now, I started to look at it even more because, again, I do a lot of research before I put out my opinion or my pick. And I realized, I said, oh, my God, this is crazy. The year that Cam Newton was born, 1989, he was born on May 11th, the 131st day of the year. Huey P. Newton died that same year on August 22nd, which is the day leaving 131 days left in the year. Now, Gematria, it's the alphabetic order forwards and backwards numerology. We just said Huey P. Newton equals 58. Well, Huey P. Newton also equals 131, like Super Bowl equals 131, and the word championship's also 131. That's why we love TCU to beat Michigan this weekend. Both schools became 13-1 as TCU goes to the championship. But again, Cam Newton born on the 131st day of the year, and then the same year, Huey P. Newton dies on the day leaving 131 days left in the year. And then Cam Newton goes to the Super Bowl in the Bay Area where, again, he founded the Black Panther Party. And for people who don't know this, like I've always been saying, it's the Catholic Church that runs all this.
Right.
The Black Panthers, all of their original meetings were in Catholic churches in the Bay Area. And again, that was the understanding. Cam Newton, Von Miller, that's also Colin Kaepernick became part of the whole narrative with the taking the knee for the flag, and he was part of that same draft in 2011. His draft pick was traded from the Broncos to the 49ers. And just for the record, Colin Kaepernick, when he first took the knee in the preseason, that was on the 239th day of the year. The flag was sewn at 239 Arch Street in Philly. There's a lot of history with Philadelphia and San Francisco. The Liberty Bell used to be stationed in San Francisco. The Warriors and the Athletics started in Philly and are now in the Bay Area. But anyway, that year, when Donald Trump took on the protesters of the flag, he waited until September 23rd, 23/9. And that was the year of Super Bowl 52. 239 is the 52nd prime. We put out the future that day. We said, there's your Super Bowl. It's going to be Philadelphia, the home of the flag, versus the Patriots with the flag on their helmet. And so, again, it's just things like this, just seeing the rituals in the news and connecting them to the sports. When you can make the connection correct, you can nail the future. And you can do this for college and pro, and it goes on in all sports. And it's just like how we nailed the World Cup this year. The World Cup was the easiest future ever. The first ever World Cup, the day after the Pope's birthday, when he's a huge football fan and he's from Argentina and he's Pope Francis, and the Jesuits are from France. We saw that if France lost in the World Cup, they'd be 2-2 in the 22 World Cup, which was the 22nd World Cup ever. And again, it's one day after the Pope's 86th birthday, and Argentina won in 86, the year Maradona died, and Diego Maradona equals 107. And from his death to the establishment of the two teams in the World Cup was exactly 107 weeks later. It's just like how we predicted the day Pele would die. For people who aren't watching, I said, why look out for Pele to die on the 83 date numerology, because football and murder are 83. Just like how now we're talking about this football player born on the 83rd day of the year, the 23rd prime, and this is the start of 23. So again, you learn these numbers, you'll just see how redundant the rituals are.
And Franco Harris.
Or we could talk about Vincent Jackson, number 83, who died right after the Bucs won the Super Bowl.
And didn't he die at age 38?
Yep.
Yeah, murder 83-38. If you just asked me about Franco Harris, in case you missed it, again, immaculate reception. This NFL season began on the Virgin Mary's birthday, the Immaculate Conception. It's the 103rd NFL season, and he dies 103 days after the season begins. There's only two teams in the whole league that have gematria of 103, Steelers and Broncos. And again, Ronnie Hillman of the Broncos died on the same day that the Franco Harris news broke. And Ronnie Hillman equals 72 in gematria. Franco Harris dead at 72. The Immaculate Reception in 72. Wow. And Ronnie Hillman died 98 days after his birthday. Or you could also say he died on his 99th day of his age. And the Broncos won the Super Bowl in 98 and 99. And they scored 34 points and 31 points. Ronnie Hillman wore the number 34 and died at age 31. And Steelers equals 31. And again, his news comes the same day that we get the news of Franco Harris. Connected rituals for the 103rd season.
It's amazing.
It's amazingly sick, but this stuff goes on day after day. I mean, we were just doing a live stream on my other channel earlier today, Gematria Effect News 25, about 38 in death. And while we're doing the stream, the Jacksonville Jaguars lineman is reported dead at age 38. And what college did he go to? Purdue. And what happened to Purdue today? They got wasted in their bowl game.
This is incredible.
Well, I'm glad you finally made it here, man. I've been pumping out this knowledge I think the whole world would have known about this without all the censorship. I've been buried in the algorithm and deleted 20 sometimes. I mean, back in 2016, my videos used to get 1 million views. Now it's hard to get 10,000 views. But yeah, everybody should know about this. And they don't want everybody to know about this because I'm tampering with these billion-dollar sports industries. But people got to abandon these leagues. They're sick. They're killing people. They're rigging the games. They're manipulating everyone's energy. It all needs to be torn down. And again, for all the people who are saying who's doing it, I'm telling you, it's the Jesuit order. The Jesuits run this nation. People need to learn history. The reason the federal government moved from Philadelphia to D.C. is because that was the Jesuit stronghold. When the Jesuits came over here to stop the Protestant Reformation, all the people who fled Europe, they set up camp in D.C. That's why it's got all the Roman architecture there. The Jesuits have run this nation from the beginning.
And now here we are on January 2nd, which equals what? 201.
Yeah, that's true. You can write that date in that way. That's true. Yeah.
No, but then in gematria too, the words actually add up to 201.
Just to remind people about the top shooting. Hillary Clinton cut the ribbon on that store because it was a big political thing when they opened it. She's Jesuit educated. She went to Georgetown as well as Yale. But that mass shooting at the Tops was on the 201st day of her age, and that's no accident either. So, yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot more examples, but again, for people who are new here, go to my website, GematriaEffect.news. Here, I'll just show you this real quick. Go to my website, GematriaEffect.news. I've made my ebooks free to read. If you want to get caught up on things you missed out on, when you come to this website, it looks like this. Just scroll down. There's this picture of me on the megaphone. Right above that, it says download ebooks for free. Click on that. The green book is my older book. There's a chapter on rig sports. This is before Kobe died. This green book came out. In there, I talk about Kobe and 41 a whole lot. In the black book, which came out after Kobe died, I talk about why he died at age 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age while traveling from Catholic Mass. Again, in Gematria, Kobe Bryant equals 41. So,
Let's sign it up now.
Well, appreciate it. I'm glad you found the work, VIP. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, man. You have a good night.
You too.
All right, take care. All right, 208, did you want to say more?
Yeah, I just don't know if anybody else brought it up. I heard in the beginning of the show someone brought up Christian Eriksen, but I don't know if they made the point that I wanted to make. His collapse in this was exactly or span of 570 days apart. Key digits 570. Like we're
Okay, the
about
other
to pass
football
that.
player. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 570 days apart. Okay, that matters because, again, this is the year of Super Bowl 57. In Gematria, England equals 57, like how, again, the Queen collapsed or died on the opening day of this season. And, again, the only American football game she ever went to in history was in 1957. And here's the kicker, too, with the only football game the Queen ever went to. It was a college game between Maryland and North Carolina. Now, she ends up dying on the Virgin Mary's birthday. And what's North Carolina named after? King Charles, who replaced her. So back in 1957, the only American football game she ever went to, Maryland, North Carolina, only to end up dying all these years later on the first day of the season, concluding with Super Bowl 57 when England's 57.
While we're on the topic of the Queen, and we were talking about vaccines earlier, vaccines 57, just a thing I noticed, that correlations between the words vaccines and then the Space Needle, obviously. Outer space is 57, like moon is 57. So there's a connection between those numbers. And then I looked up the day the Space Needle was opened, and it actually opened on the Queen's birthday in the World's Fair in the year 62.
Yeah.
Perfect
I know it's
number.
62. I'm up here in Seattle. I know that.
Yep. Yeah, I don't really got much else, but fuck the trolls.
Indeed. Appreciate it, 208.
Yep.
All right, take care, man. All right, we got a lot more people in the chat. We're going to get through everybody here, so the stream will go on. What's up, DK Stonewood?
Hey, Zach, am I on right now?
You're on.
Oh, okay. I came in way late, so I don't even know what the decode was or anything, but just like quickly looking at the story, it said Damar Hamlin, 6th round overall pick, goes down in the 6th minute. And I was just then I got into the show. So I'm like, there's going to be another 6 if I keep reading somewhere. So, but it triggered. I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder if this is on the same day, because the racer, Denny Hamlin, that has the racing team with Michael Jordan, he's had a bunch of like notable wrecks. And I was like, I bet you he wrecked on this day. You know what I mean? Like if I go back and start looking at those big wrecks that he had, I bet you one of them's on this day. Just, you know, how they like to repeat that. And then you just said you were talking about Cam Newton related to, who'd you say, Huey Newton?
Again, Cam Newton was born the same year that Huey P. Newton died. Again, and Huey P. Newton founded the Black Panther Party.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guarantee you keep looking at, it's probably even, there's some notable dates for Isaac Newton on that. You know how they just, they like to do that. And then I kind of just wanted to comment on the technology portion of it. I mean, so like there's videos online where they got like college kickers and stuff in a dome, and they filled balls with helium, and you know, and they had the guy kicking it to see which ones would go further and all that. So it was very like negligible. And And we used to like, in the street racing community, people used to put like helium in their car tires and stuff like that to, it's a lighter gas. But, after testing and all that, it was found that that's all that stuff's basically like negligible. And then as far as like them having like magnets in the balls, that it would just make the balls too heavy. And those magnets, if they were that small to where they were that light, where it wouldn't affect, they wouldn't be powerful enough. So although neodymium magnets can be powerful, the magnetic field is very, very short. You notice when you put magnets together, nothing happens till they get really close and then they just snap together. So the field doesn't travel far enough for it to be effective on anything like that. Now, I talked about before them having bladders in the ball, just like you have like Tommy Copper, ankle braces and elbow braces and stuff with like copper weave. They can have very magnetic metal weaves in there, like graphene weave or something like that, which is very attracted to magnets, but it's not a magnet itself, and that way it wouldn't affect the ball. So you wouldn't be like necessarily like able to throw it further or anything like that, because it would have to be on a focused point. So like, we're probably way overstretching saying there's magnets in the actual gloves. I mean, it's possible, but that would only really work once the ball's already like basically made contact, which, I mean, we have seen plays like that where you look like, man, there must be some stickum on there, because that ball's coming with some heat for you to just catch it like that without it bouncing off your hand. That would be pretty tough. Like, but I gotta say, I use these gloves at the gym for pull-ups. I especially get like batting gloves or these football gloves that are super thin and sticky for pull-ups. And like when you're doing pull-ups at the gym, some of the bars up there have like the little black rubber coating on it, so it doesn't so the metal knurling doesn't like eat up your skin.
Right.
These gloves are so sticky. When I hop up there, it spins the rubber, the rubber on the metal.
Sure.
That's how sticky the gloves are. I barely, I'm not using any grip strength to hold on. And normally when you do pull-ups, if you're like a guy who normally does that, you'll lose your grip strength before you can stop doing pull-ups. Your fingers start slipping off, and depending on how slippery the bar is and the gauge of the metal that you're holding and all that. But I mean, I gotta say, when I use these like gloves with that are, you would consider like stickum gloves, I mean, I'm literally just hanging my hands over the thing, and it's gripping so good. So just with that, these guys can make some incredible catches. I don't know if you've seen the size of some of these dudes' hands. Their fingers are like another inch on every single one of my finger. I've shaken their hands before, and some of the guys have actually fat sausage fingers that are that long too. Imagine getting hit by that or slapped by that or something, But sure. Some of these receivers, I remember Keyshawn Johnson. We used to go when he was at USC and then he graduated, he was still hanging around a lot. We used to go party at this place, and he would show up, and like just watching him hold a drink in his hand, it looked like he was holding a shot glass when he was actually holding the clear plastic thing from the bar,
Sure.
So, I mean, that it's possible. It's possible to shoot really good like Steph Curry. It's possible these are all things that are actually still physically possible. So I think we're stretching on that. But as far as like the goalposts being, so the way to increase a magnetic field and project it a far distance, you have to apply electricity to it. It has to be electromagnetic. Magnets on their own are very short distance. So I said long ago, that they had magnets in the uprights, and then there's, electromagnets in the uprights, which could obviously have a lot of power down in the field, could be wired. And then you notice the ball for field goals is always a different ball. That ball, they put a net up in the back in case, it goes into the stands. They collect that ball right away. It's not the same ball the quarterback's throwing in the game and stuff like that. So that's the only ball that's different. Even for a punt, it's the same ball that they use to throw around. But when it's for a field goal, you notice the ref's going to go get that ball. If the guy shanks it so bad and it misses the netting, you have to give that ball up. If it goes into the stands, the security will come right down and get it, and they'll tackle you for that ball. So what's so important? Whereas if like the quarterback throws one away, and let's just say somebody puts their hand up like on the sideline, it skips off their fingertips and goes into like the 7th row, you could keep that ball. I mean, they're not going to really necessarily come after you for it. Field goal ball, nobody's taking home. No, watch the games, you'll see that they go after that ball like like those hunting dogs when you shoot the birds and the dog goes and gets it. Like they're going to get that ball back. So that's the ones I always thought had the magnets in them, and that's the ones where we see the ball like changing direction. You never see a quarterback throw like a spiral and it just like changes direction completely or anything. Like I've never personally seen that.
Sure. Here, just about the ball count for people who are new here. The shape of a football is a very special shape in sacred geometry. It's called the Vesica Pisces, which happens to have a gematria of 53, like the 53 and a third yard wide field, the 53-man roster, huge number in football with rituals. But for the Super Bowl, there's 108 game balls. And notice how the word geometry, again, this whole gematria thing means geometry and language. It's related to sacred geometry. Notice how geometry equals 108 forwards and 108 in reverse. And that's how many game balls there is for the Super Bowl, 108. Just like how a baseball has 108 double stitches. And it's like the year Chicago broke the 108-year drought. Against Cleveland, the 216 area code, 108 double stitches is 216 stitches. Again, Cleveland's the 216. But there's a lot more to explain about all this, but just since we're talking about footballs and how many balls they use in the game, there's a reason there's 108. And again, that shape in sacred geometry is the Vesica Pisces. 53 in the most pure cipher. All these numbers up here for Vesica Pisces they do rituals with, but that 53 is the biggest one.
Does that not seem like a ridiculous amount of balls for one game, too?
It is.
Like,
it is. That's why I want to make a point, though, why it's that many.
Yeah, well, I mean, how many for a regular season game? You know what I mean? Like, are you kidding? 108 balls? Like, who's going to keep track of all those balls? You don't even have 108 balls out there for practice. You know what I mean? Like, you played football. How many balls were out there for practice? Maybe 30 tops?
At the most.
I mean, that's for, like, all the guys, too. That's for, like, your whole 60 guys out there all screwing around, guys that are bench warmers throwing the ball back and forth. Like, you got to be kidding me. And then as far as soccer goes, they have like a lot of these balls that they use in Europe and stuff. I mean, they're expensive balls. It'd be like $150 a ball. But man, the way when you kick one of those balls, it makes you look like a superstar. You know, it comes off like a cannon, and then it's got all kinds of movement in the air. I remember when I first went over there to play, I was like, I don't know if I'm just like running on adrenaline, but I'm just like taking off balance shots like from like 25 yards out that end up hitting the goalpost and going like 50 yards in the air. I'm like, I never even done that before, like on a perfect shot. What the hell's going on? And then you realize that the way they make these bladders, I remember back then it was the Questra ball. That one the goalies hated because if you got it really square, it would fly all strange. It wouldn't have like a direct flight path. It'd start like changing directions and stuff because the way the pedals were made to catch the air. But it's really obvious, you know, like you try to kick like, let's just say you try to kick like a volleyball, which is really light. It comes off your foot like a cannon, but then after the first like 5 yards, it slows way down and just starts going everywhere. You wouldn't get any advantage from that. Like let's just say you got a free kick and it's like 25 yards out. You would want a hard ball that's going to, you know, cut through the air. A volleyball the goalie's going to catch it. It's almost going to slow down to a complete stop by the time it gets to the goal. So like having an extra light ball or something doesn't necessarily really help you. Like if you want to throw a spiral 60 yards down the field, you want like a solid thing, not something that's very light. It's just going to go everywhere, you know, it'd get caught in the air. So anyway, I just want to throw those 2 cents in there.
All right. Appreciate it, DK. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah. Have a good night. All right. Let's go out to Topsy. What's up, Topsy?
Zach, what's up, man?
You know, another day in paradise. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me, Topsy? Shoot. Topsy, if you're having trouble with the connection again, you can call the line. I'll look for your phone call if you're having trouble with this connection.
All right.
Yeah, he's always got some good information. I can hear you, but it's cutting in and out. You might, if you want to turn off the camera and just talk, maybe that'll help with the stabilize the connection.
Can you hear me now?
I do. Shoot. He's always got good information, but his connection struggles. We'll see if he calls in. While we wait for him to come back, Lila, what's up, Lila?
Oh, hey, what's up, Zach? How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just calling in to say hi. I haven't called in for a while. And yeah, this stuff is all scripted and stuff. I definitely believe that for sure.
Yeah, so it
And
seems.
what's up?
Yeah, that's how it appears to me.
Yeah, it's all scripted. I mean, if our elections aren't even legit, like our voting elections, the games are definitely scripted. I'm sure of it. And there's a website called Crazy Days and Nights, and this guy gives a lot of back information on like what's going on with movie stars and football players. And I just think, like you say, it's all scripted. They're all controlled. They're all hiding things. And yeah, that's it.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and expressing that. I agree. Thank you.
Yeah, and let's not forget too that the stadium here in Las Vegas is at 333 Al Davis Way, and it's basically directly across the freeway from the Luxor Pyramid. And if I'm not mistaken, it's basically in a straight line shot from the mass shooting that happened at the Mandalay Bay.
Right.
So, is there like some kind of energy line that they're pulling in from the energy from the people who were shot at the Route 91 festival?
That was another huge 2-0 run control. For people who weren't here, we had that date circled before that even happened because it was all synced up with Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is about atonement for your sins. It ends up happening in Sin City. Jason Aldean was the singer, Mr. 201, who had a music video with the predictive programming for the shooting. But yeah, ley lines and all that, energy harvesting. I mean, there's a lot to what they're doing. And I mean, they have a lot of knowledge and information that us don't have. We're trying to figure it out. So.
Yeah, definitely. And, people can definitely be targeted. There was somebody that, he was a really big alternative health person. And, I feel like he was targeted. He's still alive, but he had some issues come up and a lot of lawsuits that kind of drove him into bankruptcy. And what happened was, I believe, his method of healing people was a threat to the system, the medical system. And I believe that, whether it was through his own hubris or whether he was targeted, I do believe he was targeted because there was one lawyer who was looking for victims, quote unquote victims of this person that they alleged, he did all these nasty things. Well, when it came in front of the district attorney couldn't find any evidence to convict him of these alleged crimes. So what did the victims do? They went to civil court. You don't need proof in civil court. You can just say, yeah, this guy did this, that, and the other, and I'm seeking compensatory damages of $500,000 or whatever you want. Now, all these women had the same exact lawyer representing them against this guy. So, you have to say to yourself, if our elections are rigged, if we know the vaccine and the clot shot is everything is just complete BS.
Just here, we're not going to say anything because I could end up taking down the whole video, but I'm going to make a point, you guys. For people who weren't here at the beginning of 2020, we predicted everything about the pandemic before it happened. But I explained why the Moderna stock would blow up on May 7th, and it did. It skyrocketed, but here's why. In light of it being the year of Super Bowl 57, and we had this collapse, which has a lot of people thinking, is that what happened? But notice how the word for V equals 57. And so does the face of the campaign, Bill Gates, who was behind Moderna, which is how we predicted that on May 7th, the stock value would skyrocket. And it did on May 7th. And the reason why is because our federal government, that was the day they approved Moderna for their experimental jab for the first one for phase 2 testing, which caused its stock price to skyrocket. And again, from Again, we've proven how this knowledge is used in the market, crypto, rigged sports, rigged election, rigged news stories. This knowledge unlocks the way they're rigging the game around us. So
Yeah, and before the beer bug hit the scene, there was this couple, Honey and something Sherman up in Canada, and they were killed in their house. And it turns out that they owned a pharmaceutical company, I believe, and it was really strange how they were killed. Well, I guess I can't remember the details exactly, but you can look it up. Honey Sherman, and I forget her husband's name.
I remember this
And
story.
what?
I remember covering this story. Yeah.
And they were conveniently killed. And then I think they had something to do with ivermectin or some alternative health cure for the beer bug. And they just magically end up dead in their luxury estate that's like guard gated. You know, it's not like anyone can just walk up to their house, I believe. And how did they end up dead? Because the people that run the world wanted that suppressed.
Right. And just to keep this stream up, we're just talking crazy conspiracy theory nonsense right now. We're just joking. Yeah, it's too bad about all the censorship because you can hardly say anything before they delete you. I've experienced that 20-some times, but yeah, we're just joking over here for all the censorship police at YouTube. So,
yeah.
Anyhow,
so, well, thanks for taking my call.
Of course, Lila. Thanks for being one of the women to come on the panel. We don't get enough ladies that speak out, so thank you.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. It's like, I don't know why there aren't more women who are on the train. I mean, it seems like women are usually a lot more perceptive and intuitive about things, but it seems like it's all guys. And I don't understand is it just because women are more docile and more, laid back?
No, like I imagine it has something to do with Sweet Lady. Sweet Lady'd like to put her face on and come on and say things, but she can't deal with the trolling and the attacks. And there's a lot of harassment online, so I think it has something to do with that. But you're brave. Thank you, Lila. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Zach.
All right. You have a good night.
You too.
All right. Take care. All right. Hey, Tim Truth. What's up, man? There's the man I owe dinner.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. First time I'm doing this, whatever you call it, live stream on the video.
Sure. For
So
all
I
the
have a
people who remember, Tim Truth came out and pounded pavement with me at the Blazers game when we were telling about the death of Uncle Cliff. R.I.P. to Cliff Robinson.
That was like over a year ago now, I think, right?
I think more than 2 years ago. Time flies.
All right, so I have a new cousin. He's in Ohio, and they just legalized sports betting in within the last couple of days. So his head's probably reeling right now because immediately because I don't even own a TV, and like most people in this community, but yeah, we kill sports, but we don't own TVs. But anyways, he texted me with this guy collapsing on a Monday Night Football game, and I'm like, all right, let's go see what Zach has to say, because so he's probably listening to me right now, and I kind of feel bad for him because he does smoke cannabis, which probably helps him right now with all these numbers that we're throwing at him, but it's like trial by fire right now for him.
Sure.
Anyways, the reason why I just want to add a little something. I'm a little bit older. I remember back in I think it was late 80s, early 90s, somewhere around there. Buffalo Bills they went to the Super Bowl like 4 times in a row, and
lost all 4. Yep.
They lost all 4. And since we're talking about conspiracies, well, by the way, I'm in Vegas too, and that last callers talked about the stadium, and it is right. Like I drive for Uber here, and I drop people off at Mandalay Bay because that's pretty much the closest I can get them to that stadium. But that stadium is going to host the next Super Bowl, not 2023, but 2024.
Right.
It'll be here. And speaking of Uber, I already know the next week, people in my car, they're just gonna be talking about this bullshit, and I have to be selective on who I think that can handle knowledge, but it's just like, you go to any diner in America tomorrow morning, this is all the old people that are sitting around drinking coffee. They're just going to be talking about this nonsense. I know because I've been around.
Of course.
So, anyways, so around that time, there's also a show called The X-Files, and there was this actor, and it's kind of famous. I mean, if you go on YouTube, you can probably YouTube. His name's William B. Davis, and he's also known as Cancer Man, Cigarette Smoking Man. And you could probably find, if you do a search for YouTube, Cigarette Smoking Man and the Buffalo Bills. It's like probably like a minute clip, and he's like a CIA kind of behind the shadows, kind of like in the know. Like, I guess he could be the type of a Jesuit that is kind of like knowing the script, but he kind of said that he didn't want the Buffalo Bills to win any Super Bowls while he's still alive. And I know it's a fictional TV show, but that show, The X-Files, that was kind of ahead of its time. Is before the internet, and they talked about all the conspiracies that you can find on the internet right now. And it's just funny to me that Buffalo Bills is looking like they're going to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl, but it's definitely. I mean, you called it. I mean, I think you
Just remember, if the Bills win 14 games in the regular season, the shooting was on May 14th with the 14 words on the gun. They've done about a gazillion 14 rituals. They just clinched the playoffs on the day leaving 14 days left in the air. Again, they're 0-4 in Super Bowls. What would it look like if they won? They'd be 1-4, which looks a lot like 14. The Super Bowl's on the 43rd day of the year, the 14th prime number. So we'll see.
If this actor dies, it's a foregone conclusion.
But what's the actor's name again?
William B. Davis, also known as Cigarette Smoking Man in the show.
Okay, I'm gonna keep my eye on that. That's a good tip. I didn't know about that one. William B. Davis.
Yeah, it's you can YouTube you can do a search, hit Cigarette Smoking Man, Buffalo Bills, and it'll pop up. And he's basically talking to the shadow government and saying like what agendas he wants. And one of them was the Buffalo Bills to not win the Super Bowl while he's alive.
Okay. The Buffalo News did an article on that in 96. Just reminds me how the Queen died at 96 on the opening day of the season. So I will keep my eyes on that one. All right.
Love you, Zach.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Tim Truth.
Yep.
All right. Have a good night, man. Thank you.
You too.
All right. We got Topsy back in. Topsy, can you hear me?
Zach, what's up, man?
I hear you. Go ahead. Speak.
All right. So did you peep how the collapse happened at the 5-minute and 58-second mark of the first quarter?
Yes.
That's 9 minutes and 2 seconds into the quarter. And the 90-second prime is 479. And Damar Hamlin sums to 479 is satanic. And if the Bills win, they would be on 479 all-time wins, while the Bengals will be on 479 all-time losses.
You always have the best observations, man. That's crazy. Yeah, regular season and postseason, the next one is 479. That's wild.
Yeah, because I was like, because I was asking myself, like, I always ask why at this time and like why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do they choose this specific time? They're like level thinkers. They think astutely. So I always try to like consider that these people aren't dumb. They do very, very intelligent. So I just try to respect that. It was interesting though that it happened at 9 minutes and 2 to the game, and the 90-second prime is 4 times. Just wanted to share that.
Very good observation. Well, thanks again, Topsy. Glad you got through. Awesome work. Thank you. All right. His connection was alive just long to share that. That guy always has brilliant observations. He looks through every number clue that's left there, and he always finds a gem. Fresco Vibes, what's up?
Not much. You can hear me?
I can hear you.
I just got a quick little thing I seen when
Can you boost your volume somehow?
Huh?
Can you make your volume a little bit louder?
You get me now?
That's better. Yeah.
So I looked at it and I seen Hamlin wears the number 3. What else? What else I had? The game stopped at the score with the Bills at the number 3. They had 3 to their 7. And it was something else with the 3. If he, because I don't know if he's dead yet, but if he passes away, tomorrow will be the 3rd, and also it'll be January 3rd, which is 1-3, and he wore the number 31 as well too. So that's all I got from it so far before I didn't even study it.
That's a good observation. And again, just like how in the ESPN photo, the only player standing is 33, again, the MNF number. So, okay.
Yeah, it's some 3s, and there's some more 3s out there because it was like he tackled Boyd, I think, one of them. And I can't remember. I think it was for a 39-yard catch or something like that. So that's another 3 out there. Sometimes it don't come to you the way you want it. So, it's always in there though. It's crazy.
Here, let's look. Here, I'm gonna bring up the box score right now. We'll look at what the last play of the game was, the yardage. I know they're on the 48, but they still got the same photo with only 33 standing. They gotta always rub your nose in the 33 every Monday Night Football.
Freemason number, yeah.
Exactly, man. Just reminding you who's running the show. But okay. Again, you guys, last night, Steelers became 9-6 against the spread. Baltimore Ravens equals 96, and count up all the home and win losses. Home teams fell to 9-6 with the Ravens giving up the lead in the end of the Steelers. Every week, the whole league scripted together. All right, hold up. Let's pull up this box score. Josh Allen's on 33 passing yards when it happens.
Wow.
Yeah, he's on 33, Josh Allen. How about that? But hold on. Let me get the play-by-play up here. See what the last play was before they shut it all down. T. Higgins for 13 yards to the Buffalo 48.
13. Wow.
They started out at the Cincinnati 39 before the play for 13 yards. So, yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow on 1-3. Yeah, you're right. Wow. NFL equals 13. And again, today's 41 days to the Super Bowl, the 13th prime. So, anyhow.
Hell yeah, that's crazy, man. 13 I heard it's a number that I don't know if the Jesuits hate it, but the higher ups hate that number for some odd reason. I've heard. Like, it's crazy.
Well, it's another number that's related to time, because the old school zodiac has 13, signs in it, and then the moon, which is another thing. Before we were on the Gregorian calendar, we were keeping time by the moon, and we were on the 13-month lunar calendar. So it's another time number, and pretty much all of these things are rituals in time.
Yeah, that's wild, man. So. Yeah. If I can find some more 3s or some more 3s show up, I'll call you back on your next live. But that's all I got for now, though. That's that one right there, 3.
All right. Well, great observations. I appreciate it. All right. Let's see. We got Plain Dakota, then Deuce, then Tatum. So we got 3 gentlemen on the line. Actually, I'm going to go out to Tatum first excuse me, I'm going to go out to Deuce first because Plain Dakota's got his mic on mute. When I see you take your mic off mute, Plain, I'll come to you next. What's up, Deuce?
What up, Zach? Great to meet you, man. Long-time listener. I've been following you for like 5 years, all your channels, man. Your information is just out of this world. And thank you so much for your work, your time, your effort in explaining all this stuff. I'm in LA. So if you come to LA, I got to join your Patreon too. I got to support you. I got to get you some gas money to get out of here, bro. Because, man, your shit is phenomenal. And right when this fucking shit happened today, when I was watching this game, because everybody, like you said, they probably had the fucking biggest numbers on ESPN ever today, because everyone's championship game for fantasy football was today. Most of them, right? So they had the whole fucking world tuning in for this ritual. The guy threw up the fucking sign, shh, right
Exactly.
before he faked his fall. That's a fucking symbolism sign to all the members in the club, right? And it was just it. And then the fucking guy sitting, look at the screen. 33 is the only number standing up. What the fuck?
Here,
Guys, you got to put all.
What you're saying is exactly what I saw before I even started to go. I was like, look how he did the "shh" right before he claps. And again, like "shh," don't talk. You guys understand, in the most pure cipher, which is the dark blue cipher. It's funny, Bill Gates is up there right now. The last thing I wrote, who was the CEO of Microsoft for 33 years, by the way. But here's what I want to show you: Masonry 33, secrecy 33, order 33. Again, you choose the alphabetic order. MNF's 33. I mean, think about it. Sure, don't say anything. Keep the secret. Watch
Right.
how I claps.
And that's also, not to cut you off, Zach, you're on fire. But that's what every celebrity you see on TV has a photo shoot, and they do these signs. This, and they have this. And if you look it up right now on Google, I swear you will run through over 100 pictures of all celebrities throwing that sign up because they've signed their lives away to this club. They are assets to this club, and they have to do what they say, or you're not going to get promoted to a higher fucking paycheck or whatnot, right? But this right when that happened, man, I went straight to your channel like it was breaking news. You weren't on yet, so I was looking at the death of the 3-6 Mafia chick, right? And then I seen the thing pop up live, and I'm like, fuck yeah. But man, I just wanted to
covered her
call.
death yesterday, right? Gangsta Boo? You know I covered her death,
Yes.
right?
Yes, I was watching that.
New Year's equals 43 and 38, like killing. Gangsta Boo's dead at 43. Rapper equals 38. Gangsta Boo 38. Memphis 38. You got 2 drummers dead on New Year's. Drummer equals 43 and 38. The Earth, Wind, and Fire drummer and the Modest Mouse drummer, and so on and so forth. And every year we're documenting the same patterns. This stuff is clockwork once you learn it.
It's clockwork, and Zach has years and videos to prove to everyone. Anyone that calls in and trolls is a fucking goddamn troll and is a hater. They don't know. They're totally against the whole thing, and everyone needs to understand. Once you follow Zach enough, and he consistently proves you the murder by the numbers, you will understand. It will click in your head one day, and you will understand that. It's kind of sad sometimes, when you realize that everything you grew up with watching and this and that is just controlled by these Satanists. But it's like something that I cherish, the information, man. So I just want to give you kudos, man. Thank you for all your time and effort and just speaking the truth. It's been phenomenal, man. Along for the journey, man.
Hey, Deuce, good to know you're out there, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. All right. Plain Decoded was up next. What's up, Plain?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on?
Okay, so I got to be quick, but can you go to my channel? It's Plain Decoded. I think you're already subbed.
Yeah, here, I'm pulling it up right now. Plain Decoded.
And you don't need to watch the video. You just need to jump to 326.
Is it the January 2nd, 2023 Bills at Bengals astrology predictions?
Yeah.
And you're saying go to that video and go to where in the video?
326. You don't have to watch it. Just pause it.
Okay, hold on. I'm going there right now. 326. Okay.
Okay, see, you know what time the injury happened at?
Tell me.
So in the news articles, it says 8:55 p.m. If you look at my notes there, I have 8:55 p.m. double check marked. See that?
I do see that.
That's because it was a significant time, and I was expecting a touchdown then. But obviously, right at that exact time, which is also the reflection of the time of the quarter, is when the injury happened. So at that time, the sun, the sun was conjunct the part of fortune. Okay, so it's a conjunction with the sun. So the sun was representing the Bills at that point, and the part of fortune is actually something that's fortunate for the team that's going to be colliding with it. So right at the time of the injury is the time of this conjunction. So if you go now to the Gematrinator, and the real the real name of this, the part of fortune, it's actually a Latin name. It's called Pars, P-A-R-S, Fortuna, F-O-R-T-U-N-A.
Oh, do you want me to
That's the
type
real
this
name.
in? Pars Fortuna?
Yeah, so that's the real name of it. But okay,
Okay.
so hold on, I just gotta go to my notes here.
Did I spell it right? Pars Fortuna, F-O-R-T-U-N-A?
Yeah, now enter that into the thing.
I did.
And then type. Hold on. Sorry, type in Sun Pars Fortuna with the sun.
Pars Fortuna.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got
And
the
now,
203 like his name.
yup. Okay, so now type in Darren Hamlin just so people can see. Or whatever his name is.
Yeah, hold on.
Damar.
I got to make sure I spell his name right. Damar Hamlin. But yeah, I know his name is 203 because we talked about how his name is the exact same as Heart Chakra in every cipher as well.
Yeah, so
On the
what
heart
was happening? So exactly when Damar Hamlin 203, at that exact time, Sun Pars Fortuna 203. Okay,
That's what was taking
not,
place in astrology. The Sun Pars Fortuna. Okay,
yeah.
wild.
But okay, so now but more technically, so now type in. This is another one I saw. This might be reaching, but so type in Damar Hamlin collapsed, hit enter.
Okay.
And now type in Sun conjunct Pars Fortuna, because that's the real what was happening. Okay.
Sun conjunct Pars Fortuna. I don't see the overlap with that one.
I think you're doing something wrong.
Well, anyway, I mean, you've already made the point because, I mean, his name and what's happening at that exact moment and the fact that you had that moment check for something big to happen in the game at that minute. And, I mean, you probably get one of the biggest things in NFL history because, like, all saying, I've never seen anything like this in my whole history covering the NFL. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, I think that there's a problem. I don't know why it's not, like, adding up correctly, but they should both be 82. So I have Damar Hamlin. I'm going to make a video tomorrow. I'll redo it, but Damar Hamlin collapsed for me in reduction, went to 82 as well as Sun conjunct Pars Fortuna.
Okay.
I don't know why yours is different. Okay, so now you can type in Damar Hamlin in critical condition after collapse. Type that in.
Okay.
$203.
Let's see. Yeah.
And then now this is not related to my conjunction thing. So his full name, maybe you already have this, but Damar Rome Yeli Hamlin is a overlapping match with Damar Hamlin collapse.
Huh.
This isn't related to what I was saying.
Sure. He's perfect for the ritual. All right, man. Well, yeah, it's very interesting. And yeah, another reminder that astrology is a huge piece of this. And great job on identifying that time would be crucial for the game. So.
All right. That's all I want to say. Thanks for listening.
All right. Yeah. Take care, man. Thanks. Bye. All right. We got Tatum and then Phillip. And then that might be a show. What's up, Tatum?
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Doing well. Thank you.
Hey, so I kind of just ran into your channel today and I'm super confused. So can you fill me in a little bit?
Okay, again, for the new people here, what the last caller is doing is a little bit more complicated. I keep things simpler. Again, Kabbalah. Are you familiar with what Kabbalah is?
No, not really.
Okay, so Kabbalah is this ancient Jewish mysticism. And it has a book. It's really short. It's called The Book of Formation. You could buy it off Amazon right now. It'd probably cost you about $5 because it's a small book. But the first paragraph says, God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. And this knowledge is studied by secret societies. And a lot of people don't realize, but all the American sports are credited to Freemasons. And for example, Freemasonry at the higher levels, they're into this kind of stuff. For example, American football is credited to Walter Camp, 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. Gematria, it's very simple. It's A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z, the 26 letters 26. For a decade, I've been teaching people about how every Monday Night Football, they perform a ritual with the number 33. This game is paused while Josh Allen's on 33 passing yards, And notice in the photo that they're using, the only player standing is number 33. Again, M is the 13th letter using the alphabetic order, N's the 14th, F is the 6th. 13 plus 14 plus 6 is 33. Every week it's about 33. Last week, Nick Foles stayed on 33 wins as a starter, getting subbed in for Monday Night Football. Had they put in Matt Ryan, he could have fallen to 33 and 33 versus the AFC for his career. Anyway, here's the ritual. This guy was the 212th pick of the draft, 212. This year, the Super Bowl is on the date February 12th, 212. He's born on the 83rd day of the year, March 24th. In Gematria, football's 83. A lot of rituals with football in 83. These are things we've been talking about for a long time, but 83 is also the 23rd prime number. If you are watching ESPN tonight, they evacuated the field with the teams, and they put up on the screen, everyone's leaving the field 23 minutes after the claps. Again, 83 is the 23rd prime. What just happened the other night in the college football game? The missed field goal at midnight, keeping the game on 83 points for the new year 23. 83, the 23rd prime. So anyhow, this claps comes 81 days before his birthday. In Gematria, ritual equals 81. So does Bills. We've talked about this number in rituals about a gazillion times in the last decade. When Urban Meyer got in big trouble a few years back for overlooking his assistant coach's abuse of his wife or whatever it was, he was on 81 wins with his team at the time, and the news broke on August 1st, 8-1, and then in the White House, Obama was endorsing 81 candidates that day. Again, we call this the ritual number 81. So it's 81 days before his birthday, where ritual and Bills is 81. And again, it's 41 days before the Super Bowl. Gematria is based on the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. Backwards just means making Z1 back to A is 26, and the two orders with numerology. Super Bowl equals 41 forwards, 49 in reverse. This guy's name, Damar Hamlin, equals 49. And again, it happens 41 days before the Super Bowl. And always a big number with Super Bowl rituals, 41. Brady winning at age 41. The year before that, he lost to the Eagles and scored 41 points, so on and so forth. When Patrick Mahomes won Super Bowl 54, it was right after Kobe Bryant died at age 41 the day before, and he put the game away with his 41st pass. If you go back to the highlight, Patrick Mahomes' 41st pass was to number 26 for the 26th completion to put away the game against the 49ers. Kobe Bryant equals 41. Bryant alone equals 26. Dead on the 26th. Dead on the 37-year anniversary of Bear Bryant. If you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Bryant's 37. He died while traveling from Catholic Mass on the Pope's 41st day of his age. Anyway, all year we've been talking about the significance of the Queen dying at age 96 on the opening day of this NFL season, where Buffalo, the Queen City, won. And again, there's two Queen Cities in America, Buffalo and Cincinnati. So you have the two Queen Cities playing tonight. The Queen died at 96. In Gematria, Cincinnati equals 96. So does Damar Romiel Hamlin, his full name. And if you run it in reverse, his full name equals 111. And the Queen was born on the 111th day of the year, like how the Royals won the 111th World Series, which was synced up with the Queen back then as we were covering. And so anyway, there's more to this. You can rewind the stream and watch the rest of it. But another big thing is the Bills are on 514 losses as a franchise right now. 514. Remember, the Buffalo top shooting was on May 14th, 514. I flew out to Buffalo to educate that community about how that shooting was rigged and synced with their scripted season, because that's what they do. They sync the news. They have these planned rituals in the news, synced with sports year after year. And anyhow, that shooting, May 14th, was exactly 117 days before the season began. Buffalo Bills equals 117. And now from the day the season began to today is the 117th day of the season. And you could argue that this is the biggest ritual of this NFL season so far. And again, they'll have everybody talking about this around the water cooler tomorrow. And most people don't have a clue about the rituals and energy harvesting that's being pulled off on them by the secret societies that manufacture and script these leagues, which is why you have the announcers nearly every game saying phrases like, what a Hollywood script. They couldn't have scripted it any better. Oh, are they going to flip the script tonight? I think sometimes they flip the script when there's too much Vegas money on one side. But again, people got to wake up to what's going on. Secret societies have run this nation from the beginning. All the American sports leagues are credited to the secret societies. And if you learn their little simple numerical code, you'll see right through how all these games are scripted. And for the record, I learned about this by looking into it because I knew there was something going on with numbers and sports and news. And I found a book by Manly P. Hall written in 1926 called The Secret Teachings of All Ages. And he reveals the numerical code behind the English language, but all he gives you are the ciphers. I started decoding when I found the book and have been doing this for a decade now. So
sweet. Awesome. So my last question, so you say sports, American society, how broad is this entire thing? Like,
this is going on worldwide. Again, this all started in the 16th century. In the 16th century, the Jesuits were established. That's who's behind all this. The Jesuits are responsible for all this. They created modern Freemasonry. They pretty much created this nation. But in the 16th century, the Jesuits were created to serve the Roman Catholic Church, to stop the Protestant Reformation. The Gregorian calendar rolled out, named after the Pope. Again, people don't even get the joke of the Pope dying on the last day of the year. The first German Pope in forever dying at age 95 in the time of the first Jesuit Pope. The Jesuits were created to stop the 95 Theses written by the German Martin Luther. That's also why Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on the 95th day of 1968. But anyway, we're on this Catholic calendar, like we're on this arbitrary time system that makes no sense, where we call it the New Year in the dead of winter. Back before the Catholic Church took over, New Year's was in the springtime when everything was anew. But again, we're on the Catholic Church's time. The oldest English script is credited to the Catholic monk Berthworth of Ramsey Abbey from the year 1011 AD. But in the 16th century, that's when the English language, after the establishment of the Jesuits, was transformed with a new 26-letter alphabet, all new vowels. Again, they synced up the calendar and the language, and that's why they've been spreading the English language worldwide ever since. Now it's become the language of the world. It's how we just call it the World Cup. It's how you can call sports events all across the world. There's a lot of people who have learned this knowledge and now use it for international football. But all of these rituals through the English language synced up with the calendar are going on worldwide. And again, it's because of the dominance of the Catholic Church and the Jesuit order.
All right. Well, thanks for asking.
And by the way, where did our guy go to high school here, Damar Hamlin? Guess where he went to school?
No idea.
Prestigious Catholic high school.
Oh, dang.
So Pittsburgh Central Catholic. And Pittsburgh Central Catholic, do you know the only Jesuit family, the only publicly Jesuit family to own an NFL team? You know which family it is?
No.
It's the Rooney family who owns the Pittsburgh Steelers. And again, that's why you just had Franco Harris die this year. Again, I don't know how people miss it. People's eyebrows should be raised everywhere. Franco Harris died 103 days after the 103rd NFL season began. This year's season began on the Virgin Mary's birthday, September 8th. That's what day the Catholic Church celebrates as her birthday. She's the Immaculate Conception. So in the 103rd season, he dies 103 days after the season begins on her birthday, known for the Immaculate Reception. And again, only Steelers and Broncos are the only two teams in the NFL that equal 103. And the same day we got the news of Franco Harris dying, we also got the news of Ronnie Hillman, a running back in the NFL, dying, who played for the Broncos. Ronnie Hillman in Gematria equals 72, like Jesuit order. And Franco Harris died at age 72, known for the Immaculate Reception in 72. Get how this works?
I've caught on a little bit. I've been listening since probably 9:30, but I've seen some, a little bit.
Okay. Well, you just pay attention. This stuff goes on season after season. They rig it the same way. It's similar rituals year after year. And again, I don't know how people don't. I mean, when you hear the announcers saying they couldn't have scripted it any better, what's going on in your mind when they say that?
I guess I just think, wow. Pretty much like, who could have thought?
Okay. Yeah, they're not joking, and that's why they use. I mean, think about it. Who's doing the announcing? Former players, all guys who are in on the script. And again, have you ever thought about why they pay athletes so much? Like, why do these guys need to be paid so much?
To keep them quiet.
Exactly, to keep them quiet. It's not to get them on the field. I mean, how many? And look, in almost every city, you don't have a single player on the team that's even from the state. You don't even. I mean, none of these guys care about the fans that they're playing in front of. It's so rare to have a player on a team who's actually even from that state. It's so rare. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for answering my questions. I'll definitely tune in next time.
All right. Appreciate it, Tatum. Take care.
You too. Bye.
All right. Well, we don't have anyone else on the line, and I know Sweet Lady's going to be pissed because it was supposed to be date night, but I told her the word's got to get out about this tonight because I knew everybody would be talking about it. So, and again, you guys, I got to let you know, last year was really disappointing to me because I never got out and pounded pavement more. I went back and forth across the country several times, and just my support fell off left and right. And again, here was the reality. I did a lot less sports decoding last year because I was writing books and traveling across the nation. And it pissed me off because I'm like, do people only support my work when I give them sports picks? I mean, is that what people are really here for? Because really what I need is I need people behind me to support the work so that we can get it out to the masses to change the world so this kind of evil shit can stop. And again, you guys, I'm not opposed to sports. I love sports. I grew up playing sports. I'm just sick of these bullshit-ass sports leagues. Like, why are people... I mean, how can people not see how bullshit these sports are? Tom Brady's 25-point comeback on 2/5 over the Falcons when Falcons equals 25. The only Super Bowl the Pope ever blessed when Pope's 25. And, of course, Matt Ryan's Jesuit product who gave up the game. But, I mean, just every year, you guys, these games are total bullshit, completely rigged, unbelievable. And at the college level, too. People are like, the college level? It's so obvious at the college level. Did you just see what happened in the Georgia-Ohio State game? How do you give up an 11-point lead? How do you give up a one-play 76-yard touchdown? How is there no defender within 30 yards of the receiver? I mean, that's like the one thing you can't do in the game. You're up 11 with, 6 minutes left in the quarter? Oh, I think we'll just give up the 76-yard touchdown. These games are trash, you guys. It's all energy harvesting. Okay, one more person just chimed in, and then we'll wrap it up. What's up, DT?
Hey, Zach.
What's up?
I did a little research. So the guy that he tackled was number 85, T. Higgins. So the last player to die, like, on field was number 85 on the Lions.
Okay, so the last time that a player died in the NFL was 85. National Football League equals 85, how we predicted John Madden would die at age 85. And who knows if he even really died at 85. We didn't see him for like at least the last 5 years before they reported him dead.
Right.
But, and again,
Also,
people don't get that joke. For people who don't get the joke of National Football League in 85, the National Football League was founded in Chicago. What was the only year Chicago ever won the Super Bowl? The 85 season. And remember, they had the revolutionary 4-6 defense and beat the Patriots 46-10 when Chicago equals 46.
oh yeah, I think the game was actually against Chicago when the other player passed. Other thing, it happened with 1:02 on the clock, kind of like today's date.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look it up, his name was Chuck Hughes.
I see T. Higgins played at Clemson. Again, in light of, okay, remember earlier this year, Clemson fell to 8-1 in a nice upset, which we capitalized on. But Clemson's 81, like Ritual's 81, like Bills is 81. So T. Higgins went to Clemson. That's probably not an accident. So often these Rituals will pay tribute to the colleges they went to. Okay.
Yeah. Yep, that's all I got.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate the observation. Good history lesson. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, Zach. Thanks.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Okay. We don't have anybody else in the chat. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to say thank you to the people who sent super chats. I didn't have my eyes on the chat the whole time. I did catch some of the super chats, but I do appreciate the generosity. And I think I might use that money to get ourselves the nice speaker mic system for LA January 26th. But I do want to see the support get back up, and I want people to stick around and just pledge that $1 a month and be grateful when I put out the sports picks and just support the work because the work needs more people supporting. Again, you guys, I mean, they're really, I know people think it sounds greedy, but really there should be 1 million people pledging $1 a month for what I've been doing for the last 10 years. Imagine if we had those kind of resources. We could have a GematriaEffectNews bureau in every major city in the world. We could have a full team of people doing this worldwide all the time. It needs to happen. This world needs to change. These psychopaths in the secret societies, they need to be overthrown. And if you're doubting my resume, again, I've been here every single day for a decade straight. Show me anybody else who's been working their ass off for a decade straight. And don't forget, the first 5 years I was here, I worked every single day and never raised a penny. So it was never about the money. It was about changing the world. But then I finally realized I need some resources to make this thing bigger. Okay, let me see. You guys did get super generous. Mike Snaps chipped in $10, said, if you're wondering why numbers, why Gematria, these people worship Aleister Crowley and the Kabbalah. Again, if you guys don't know Aleister Crowley, famous occultist in the UK, wrote a lot of books on Gematria, wrote about doing things forwards and reverse, exactly what these people do. Pretty much every major rock and roll act from the British invasion was all into Aleister Crowley. The Beatles even have Aleister Crowley on their album artwork. Numbers rule, energy, and the universe, research. And again, that's why on the Masonic temples, it says all is number, the Pythagoras quote, who was also into this study. But then again, people say, is Pythagoras even a real person? He might have been he might have been a historical fiction. Numbers rule, energy, and the universe, research, Kabbalah, Crowley. This goes back thousands of years. It goes back way past Crowley, but Crowley is one of the people that put a lot of this knowledge on the map and woke people up in the mainstream to it. Bamboo Soldier chipped in $2, said, big up, Zach. Great stream. Bless up. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Roger Owens chipped in $2. Thank you. Slick Nick chipped in $2. He said, the best ever. Appreciate that. Yeah, right. The Matrix got generous. The city of Buffalo seems to be cursed. If you guys have not seen what he's doing, he lives in the Buffalo area. All these snowstorms he's gotten in, he owns a tire shop. So he knows exactly what tires you want on your car for these crazy snowstorms. He's out there in his Jeep Wrangler 4x4 with the big wheels, towing people all out of the snow pack in Buffalo. Shout out to Yeah, right. The Matrix. But he said the city of Buffalo seems to be cursed or a target. Crazy if Tampa versus Bills in Super Bowl. Again, we did document that, how at the Buffalo Memorial at the Tops, there was only one NFL team with representation there. I mean, you got the Jets, the Giants, and the Bills of New York. And none of those teams had anything in the memorial, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did. I was like, that's weird. Are they doing something here with like a Brady bill? Yeah, right. The Matrix chipped in $100 and said 2,400 people watching on both channels. Smash the like on both, please. Let's bust the algorithm. Appreciate that. Empress 205 said, keep going, Zach. Thank you, Empress 205. I am Nama, chipped in 10. Thank you. Love to Vager, chipped in $10. Said, keep it up. He's advocating for me to come down to LA. D King E39 said, Kenneth Paul Block died at 55, reported about an hour ago. All right, I'll do it here before I get off the stream. Kenneth Paul Block, we'll look at it. Shelly said, Jill Biden in a Spencer royal bloodline connection. Okay, gonna have to look into that one. Thank you. Dane Calloway again. Dane Calloway and I, we've been planning on doing a collaboration for a while. His family got real sick recently, so it got put off, but it's going to happen. And when I join up with Dane Calloway, I plan to talk about why the only 3 black quarterbacks to ever win a Super Bowl all had mega 42 rituals, and they all played for the Native American teams, the Redskins, the Chiefs, and the Seahawks. Of course, the Seahawks get their symbolism from the local tribe up near Seattle, the city named after the Native American chief Seattle. Again, they're trying to tell you something about history, and did really only black people come over here on slave ships, or were they already here from other advanced civilizations? Remember how when Obama was in office, the Blackhawks just kept winning the Stanley Cup? So anyhow, when I hook up with Dane Calloway, we'll go into that a lot deeper. If you guys are not following Dane Calloway, give him a sub. Kent Woods chipped in 5, said, heard about curfew in Eudora, Arkansas. Lines up with the 52nd anniversary of Tony Joe White's song. They caught the devil and put him in jail in Eudora, Arkansas. I'll have to look into that. I did not know, Kent. Appreciate it. So many things to do. Jeremy Yell chipped in 2. Thank you. Lloyd Black chipped in 5. Thank you. C. Stevens chipped in 10. Thank you. Victor Booth chipped in 20. Thank you. And Amy 2 Crack Their Code, who now has a YouTube channel plus her website, cracktheircode.org. Make sure you're subscribed to Amy 2 space Crack Their Code, all one word. She's doing brilliant work. She's one of the best decoders, up and coming, getting better by the day. But she wrote Buffalo Bills equals 117, and it's 117 days before his draft anniversary. The person who got hurt today. Yeah, he was picked 2-1-2 Super Bowl on 2/12. Yeah, she's doing great work. All right, so Kenneth Paul Block. I got to be honest, I don't know that name off the top of my head, but I'm sure people do. Kenneth Paul Block, fashion design. Well, wait a minute. It must be a different one because you said dead at 55. This guy's dead at 84 years ago. Well, I don't know what to say. That's okay. We got a Ken Block in a snowmobile accident. There's only one story on it. Well, I'll wait to see if more information comes out on that because I do not know who that is right now. And anyhow, RIP to that person. But yeah, you guys, thank you to everyone who hit the like and the share. I'm glad we finally got some people on the live stream again. You know, back in 2018, anytime I did a live stream, we had 2,000 people on the stream. But with all the censorship, it's hard these days to even get 500 people on the stream. Fly Eagles Fly says, is there any Discord that I can join to learn more? I don't do Discord, but I mean, if you just subscribe to my channel, well, you'll probably I get shadow banned, so you don't get notifications. So if you just follow my channel, I'm putting up content every single day. And again, for people who want to learn more, if you don't mind reading, or you know, at this day and age, you can just put the PDF in a ebook reader and just have it read out loud for you. Go to my website, GematriaEffect.news. You can buy my books in physical copy, but I made them free to download. Just scroll down. You'll see this picture of me on the megaphone. Just right above that, it says download ebooks for free. And again, I got 2 books. The Letters and Numbers book's nearly 800 pages long. If you read the first 100 pages, you'll learn a lot about gematria. If you have time to read the whole book, it takes a while to read, but there's a lot of information there. There's a chapter on rig sports. It's an ebook, so you can skip around and look for what you want to find. But my latest book, Number Games, 9/11 to Cooties, that book has a huge chapter on Kobe's death. But yeah, you can read these books and you'll learn a lot more about the information, or just follow my YouTube channel because I'm constantly putting out content. I mean, I probably average putting out at least 2 videos a day between Gematria Effect Sports. And realize I have several channels because I get suspended all the time. So I'm constantly shuffling channels so they don't delete my channel. Because if you get 3 strikes, they delete it. I've already had 20-some channels deleted. So my new thing is to shuffle channels so I don't get any of them deleted. So I have Gematria Effect News 25, Gematria Effect News 24, Gematria Effect News 23, Gematria Effect News 22, and Gematria Effect Sports. Sub those channels and just look for the updates. Click on the channel occasionally to see new content. But I mean, I've been pumping out content for a decade straight, and I will not stop. There's stuff to cover every day. Tivy2402 chipped in 5, said much love from the SIP, Zach. Keep exposing the BS. I got to assume the SIP is Mississippi. I hope I'm not wrong, but I got to assume that's what the SIP is. If any place is called the SIP, it's got to be Mississippi. But I appreciate the support. Thank you. And Judy Bridge chipped in 2, said, love you, Zach. Keep doing what you do, please. I appreciate that. I won't stop. I mean, how could you stop? There's no chance to stop. These people are relentless, doing more evil crap every day. And again, if you guys did miss all yesterday's content, we were busy yesterday with all, just like we are every year on New Year's, just like we are every year on New Year's. We are busy. Gematria Effect News 25. And realize they changed YouTube recently. Videos are uploads and live or live streams. But there were a lot of deaths. If you missed what they just did with Pope Benedict and on Anthony Hopkins' birthday, who portrayed him in a movie. I mean, Barbara Walters, just all the stuff they've been going on. What they just did with the Moscow thing, Moscow, Idaho. Barbara Walters, all this stuff, man. All this stuff. And if you guys don't know, my old website right now is getting taken down just daily. My old website has over 30,000 blog posts. They're just taking down tons of posts every single day. I'm worried that within a few months, the whole thing's going to be gone. But yeah, I'm getting all kinds of censorship right now and all kinds of trolling. In a way, nothing's new, but at the same time, it's worse than ever. So anyhow, that's why it's important to get stuff in physical copy, because this stuff that's digital, they can just delete it any old day. It's here today, it's gone tomorrow in the digital world. But if it's physical, as long as your house doesn't burn up or somebody doesn't steal it, you'll still have it. So all right, you guys, I do got to wrap it up. And thanks again for everyone who hit the like and the share. And we'll be back tomorrow because there's always more to cover. And by the way, every Wednesday night, we do the TFR show on Truth Frequency Radio. Every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, 3-hour program. That's when it starts for people looking to learn more. Putting out the knowledge every day. Till next time.